21st row, 481 will be started by Edward Christie, and 102, which is the car of Matthew Hickins, is alongside. And then the final car on the grid is going to be the number 88 car, started by Nicola Gillett. And there's 4 cars that will start from the pit lane after disqualifications in qualifying. They are going to be number 2, Ben Rushworth, number 12, Scott Arkin, number 15, Colin Gillespie, and finally number 4.
The reigning champion Cole Swift in the Seat, and then that really impressive qualifying from Ian Jones in the BMW Compact. See there, the clouds are gathering around Snetterton again, so whether we're going to get showers during the course of this 3-hour race, that's going to mix the strategy up, I'm sure, because we've got 2 pit stops to make during the course of this race. No pit stops or mandatory stops to be made in the first half an hour still though, so you shouldn't see any early stops unless there are problems. And after that, teams are going to be working hard in the garages on the pit wall to work out when the best time to stop is. And obviously if your fuel runs out, you've got to commit to this anyway, so at that point your strategy is made for you.
And any pit stop that involves refuelling has to be 3 minutes in length, and 2 mandatory 3-minute stops required as well. You can't make a stop in the last 15 minutes of the race. The plane, by the way, Catalina Seaplane. Steve Jones, the information on that one. So 3 hours ahead of us, the cars with about a third of a lap left to go before we get the race underway.
The other strategy call is whether you do a double stint with fuel if you're in a 2-driver team and then let your second driver finish, or whether you do 2 driver changes. I go from driver 1 to driver 2 back to driver 1 again. Yeah,
that's a possibility as well. We do see that executed sometimes, don't we? In other categories. So 3-hour race. There's a few drivers doing this solo, which will be a tough challenge. It's a warm day, not as hot as it was yesterday. We've had the showers, we've got the breeze as well.
Just saw a car there that's going to be wonderful. Andy Marston is outside the top 20 on the grid, but he was one of the quickest drivers yesterday, wasn't he, in that road sport race? Watch out for him.
And watch out for the 4 cars that are blows in the pit lane as well. Some quick drivers there. Ben Rushworth, the 12 car as well of Scott Parkin, Colin Gillespie in 15, and also the Holden Commodore as well of Will Ashmore. So they'll be fighting their way up the order as well when the race gets underway, which it should be any moment now, because the safety car, I think, is peeled in. Yes, it is. So it's down to the drivers out on track to control the pace. Red lights are still on at the moment. They go out and the race gets underway then. So 3 hours of ClubEnduro action underway, and it's I think Carl Swift from the outside of the front row that swept into the lead of the race, and the compact's up to second as well as they turn their way through, which is for the first time. So that car having made a good start. Some dramas there, and the car's been released from the pit lane as well.
You know, the touch for Will Stacey with the Audi, they've got both away with it, haven't they? Which might be more lucky involved than anything else in all of that, but that's good to see. Everyone's got down to the hairpin then. It looks like, and it's Cole Swift in the leader. Ian Jones is second in the compact, side by side for 4th. Steve Hewson is up next, isn't it? Or Matt Fazy in Steve Hewson's car. That made a good start on the Class B cars. But it's Seat from BMW, from Audi, from Lotus. Now with Will Stacey diving up the inside of Phil Nibb, locks up, runs wide, and he's going to lose the place again, I think.
Yes, about braked himself, didn't he? So I think Phil Nibb and Southland TCR going back through on the exit of the Agostini hairpin. They're turning their way out of Agostini through the left-hander at Hamilton, now towards the double right-hander at Oggies, and then it's into Williams. Lots of shuffling of positions to be done at the early laps. Because the qualifying session, the conditions were different. Like the smoke actually from the Matt Fazy car as well that we need to watch out for. That's the 11th car we can see going through shot now. That's the Audi of Ryan Parkin, so that car showing Dan Sylvester, who saw have some success yesterday in the MR2s.
Yeah, that's right. Here's the Capture Motorsport Audi there of Mark Grice, who didn't make the best start from pole position. The 2 Lotuses look at themselves together with Stacey and Leon Bidway. Stacey's out wide there over the curve, but sideways. He's back on again. That car's really quick. Rob Boston drove that car yesterday to win the road sports race. and kind of wondering if we might have that pace again today, but we'll be in it later. And that's Steve Cheatham gaining positions there on the inside in his Porsche Boxer. There's Andy Schultz, who unusually is starting this race in Matthew Hampton's M3, so he's again going to be somebody to watch coming through the field from much further back on the grid.
This car's just making a fantastic sound as they go into the Porsche box to complete the first lap. Carl Swift it is that's leading by a second and a half. Ian Jones clinging on in that BMW compact at the moment. Will Beach in third place, Mark Price, isn't it, in the 27th car in third place, and then Phil Nevin fourth, number 92 in the Seat. So Seat leading, BMW second, Audi third, and Seat fourth, but with the Will Stacey Lotus right behind him as they went through Parma. That time there's another Lotus, Liam Bidgeway, just behind him in sixth.
Almost in the boot of the Seat there, wasn't he, as he went through Parma?
Pretty fit, wasn't it?
Well, he couldn't get past, importantly. I think he's got the speed, certainly through the corners, of these touring cars. It's tiny, isn't it, the Lotus behind the Seat there? But at this point, Will Stacey can't get through. So down towards Oggies, is he going to have another go here, perhaps, up the inside? Yes, I think Philip let him have the line this time, isn't he? He can see what was coming, so Will Stacey's gone through, finally, into fourth position, but down the straight, he'll be able to hold on.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Leon Bidgeway there is going to be next to Badger Phil Nibb in that number 92 car, which is making its way along the middle straight. There's quite a gap back, isn't there, from Bidgeway to Matt Fazy in 7th place in the number 13 Porsche. Is it Jonathan Packer that's still there in 8th place in the number 5 VW Golf? You can see 49 car of Stacey then, it is still ahead of the Nib car. It's now sort of challenging Mark Price for third position. Who's right with Price. Again, much bigger Audi, much bigger presence on the circuit. Heading into Murray's, Stacey up the inside, absolutely alongside the Audi now, but I think in a straight line the Audi's just got a little bit more grip, but actually Stacey, I think it's a Rover engine Lotus trying to cling on, can't quite do it though, but nevertheless, gamely trying, up to fourth place on that lap. The best lap of the race so far goes to Carl Swift at 2:05.24.
Yeah, that's right. Full of fuel, of course, at this point in the race. Only a couple of seconds off the lap record speed in ClubEnduro. Ian Jones still there in second, and Bryce run wide here into the Wilson hairpin. So Will Stacey tries to slot the Lotus up the inside, but can't do it. So we'll have to try again. And Phil Nibb, who's having a good stint, he went in Road Sports at Grant Hatch a few weeks ago. Then Liam Bidgeway there in 6th position. But here comes Will Stacey up the inside, possibly into the hairpin, but that's covered, I think, at the end by Mark Bryce. So Bryce in the Audi hangs on, but through the infield, this is where the Lotus Elite is really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much favours the twisty bits of the circuit. The Rob Boston Racing Lotus. They're ahead of the Philip Fudge, tucked in behind that capture motorsport car. There's the 49 of Stacey then, heading down the straight ahead of number 27.
Ben Rushworth is inside the top 20 from the pit lane, so he's been pushing on. Andy Schultz and Andy Martin have only got 14 and 15 from outside the top 20, so that's quite the progress I was expecting there. But Ben Rushworth doing a great job. Those things got quick, but he's done a much more effective job than Colin Gillespie, who's 25th. At this stage and further 10 seconds behind. The problem is already.
That's Paul Browse's car, isn't it? That's into the pit, I think.
Yeah.
The number 22 Stowmarket Glass entered car for the Browse family, the E6 M3 GTR. Who's that making a mistake there at Nelson? That is Rushworth, isn't it? Who was up into the top 20 after just 2 laps, having effectively started 43rd, I think, from the pit lane. Ben Rushworth, the former Hampshire champion, Metro champion as well before that. So lots of experience under his belt, very rapid racer, getting his chance this season. It's something even more spectacular.
There's Steve Cheatham, whereas he's got 11.
Yeah.
Saw that car with the gearbox out in the London race, so that'd be the 28 here. That's the car of Andrew Stewart, and he's outside the 20, isn't he? A little bit further the order, I think, but you can see him out there. Great, very good. There's the Mazda that was on holding class C, John Munro, at the wheel of that car, who had their best of the season in second, which came off another car for the pit road minutes, and that's the F2, the Charlie Dark driven car. So that's another car in strife in the really early stages of this race.
Yeah, what have we had? 7.5 minutes in the race so far, so yeah, too early for to stop. Those got maybe till 30 minutes into the race, so some electrical issue maybe needing to be resolved. That is the another LX5 going through. That's Rowan Lundy starting the R3 right from Essex. The Holton Commodores, another car that's had to come through the order. Where's that going to? That's going to 27th place. But let's head down to Kieran McGinley. Let's see what Kieran's got to tell us. In the pit lane.
Yes, thank you. Down here in the pit lane with the number 22, just off to my left-hand side. Issue with the fan belt, which is why they need to come in. They've made a bit of a fix of it, using a mop to keep the bonnet up, but they're looking to try and get back out there. I was given a thumbs up, so all signs lead to they're going to get this thing back out there.
Thanks, Kieran. Good to hear. That's what you have to do in these longer races, of course, is getting the car back out. Here's the Ginetta G40, which was in strife yesterday. The Matthew Kidmarsh Chris Webster car. See, it's got its boot and rear wing back. That car had a best result so far this year of 4th in Class B, and then the Andrew Stewart car's got issues now. Looking for not is it fuel leaking perhaps out the car? It's honestly full of fuel at the moment, but that's something the officials might be keeping an eye on. There's certainly some kind of fluid leaking as it went into the men's straight. 99 here, that's the Joe Williams Volkswagen Golf, who's involved in the battle with 53, which I think is the car started by Joel Oswick.
Ben Rushworth's up to 17th now, and he's to the 206.67, which I think is about the third fastest lap anybody's done so far in this race. So I've just gone faster, and also having gone faster is Andy Schultz, who's now up to 8th place, by the way. Then the next fastest car out there is Ben Rushworth in 17th.
Yeah, so that's practically two competitors that didn't start where they would have liked, making their way through the order. There is the Ginetta, the car that's owned by Chris Webster. Matthew Kidmarsh is the driver who shared it with him, but it's Webster that's starting. Side-by-side action here. That's the Lotus Siege, I think, that's gone through nicely. Didn't have a good position. The car shared between David Trigg and Stuart Daver, the Qatar specification car. Hit the leader though. That is Rob Baker, Carl Swift, Rachel Wynn, Donington Park, and Last Man Out to Spa Frankenshire. And they lead by 8 seconds. Great battle, so into Class B. And we're just hearing actually that the browser realise they can't fix it. The 22 car, we believe, is retiring the car into the garage. But the Class B back continue, including from the 999 car, Ricky Cooper, out in his Honda Civic. You can see that car that's done 24-hour races in the past with us this weekend. Snetterton, very noisy place at the moment with the aerial displays here, but on the circuit there's been a change for third position because Will Stacey off camera has got himself up ahead of Mark Price finally, so we're seeing now he's clear. What kind of back time he can do?
Yeah, he's got about 4 seconds or so to catch Ian Jones in the mighty BMW Compact, the number 117 car, which is got a 3.2 litre engine. We've got on screen there the number 20 car going through, which 120 should say. That's the car that is in 29th position. That stock car. Black and white driver's dance flag going out to car 28 now, and that's Andrew Stewart. Okay, that's interesting. I imagine the mechanical white flag going out to that car with the fluid we saw leaking from it, but actually he's getting a driver's orange flag.
It's very early for that to be happening as well, isn't it? The careful with that. So that battle continues. The Matthias Radestock Lotus, he shares with Jason McNulty, two very quick Lotus drivers, sharing that car. Also got that back from 76, which is Michael Downey's Porsche Monster, the young bell of yesterday in the Road Sports race. So that's a real battle to watch out there on the circuit, down into the hairpin. You've also got 53 in there, which is the Class C car of Joel Osric, and he leads Class C, I think.
Yes, the guy.
On the road, got back a bit.
That's big Class 15 as well.
Class B leader, by the way, now got 10 at phasing. The Porsche Cayman has been rebuilt. It's inspired the McNulty Lotus has spun. Second Class B is number Packer, and third is Luke Handley in the Volkswagen Golf from Area Motorsport. But for McNulty,
Radestock.
Yeah, Radestock. Here's the other BMW that had been picked earlier.
Yeah, it would be interesting if Kim can give us a look at what's going on with the 235 car there, because it was an unscheduled stop for Charlie Dark. Andrew Jebson should be taking the second stint in the race, but at the moment the car's going nowhere. It's been in there for 3 or 4 minutes now, hasn't it? So looks like a real problem for that team, I'm afraid to say. Especially if we have 13 minutes of a 3-hour race.
So we've got more cars going a bit quicker now. So Will Stacey has got into the 205. We started to catch Ian Jones, but also into the 205. Now in 6th overall is Andy Shaw's, and Ben Rutherford's also in that time bracket. He's 13th, so they're all progressing up the order and lapping not dissimilar pace to the overall race leader.
Yeah, which last time the 205.26, that being Carl Swift in the league race, 11.25 seconds clear in car number 1 on 117, which is Ian Jones, Paul Stacey, third, and Mark Bryson, which was in their 4th.
Interesting car here, the Volkswagen Sirocco 63, the John Maudsley and Stuart Mead car. That car was built in 2009 by Volkswagen, racing the 24-hour race. So that's great to see that car out. Stuart Mead, who has started the car that's prepared by Saxon Motorsport. And there's Will Stacey going through past the traffic. He's there in 3rd position. He started the lap 3 seconds behind Ian Jones. And there's the leader though, across the line. That's Cole Swift, completing 7 laps of this race. So the traffic has begun now, and that's going to be a common factor for the remainder of the race. Ian Jones through in 2nd place. New pass, that's earlier than the fastest lap was done by Cole Swift. He's 12 seconds ahead of Ian Jones, who's being caught by about a second a lap now by Will Stacey, who's really a championship contender this year. He's 2nd in the Class A points. He was a race winner at Trot, and now sharing with team owner from Boston this weekend. That's going to be a quick car. Andy Shaw's through, so looking in the 2.5s again. So it's nearly filled in for 5th now as the M2 makes its way out of the pit lane. I think Charlie Dark car. That's lost a number of laps. Penalties now already for track limits, and that is that 28 car. So Andrew Stewart has got himself in a bit of strife in his Honda Civic, already exceeded track limits and getting penalties just 7 laps into the race.
Yes, and of course if you do it again, it's another 10 seconds, then a 30-second penalty, then drive through, and then exclusion if he or anyone else continues to repeat offend on track limits.
It's a solo driver as well, but yeah, that's not good really, is it? The Clio out there, the Clio Cup car that's pushed by Alan and Simon Mason car, the 4th generation Clio 1600cc turbo car, prepared by MLP Developments. Head Joe Williams, who's out there in his Golf, battling with Michael Downey. They come through. Where are they battling for? 29th position, I think. That's going to get really busy when Cole Swift is coming up the lap. It won't be too much longer.
No, it won't. It's worth mentioning pickup as well for cars that are more than 10 years old. And the on Bridgeway it is, let's leave that, I think at the moment, 32, is that right?
Yeah.
Right, first of those cars.
TCR battle going on because Ben Rushworth has caught the Matthew Wallace Sayat, and this is about 10th position. And Rushworth left a couple of seconds quicker. But how easy is it now going to be to make a pass on a very similar type of car?
Yeah, should be close to the speed in a straight line, you would think. Ben's race traffic light telling him not going to make a move through the corners.
Ben Rushworth with James Branston, they were on the podium with Spa last time up. They're side by side now as they lap an MX-5, and Rushworth round the outside into Ritchie's, goes through, so he's into the top 10. And actually Andy Marston is in front of him, who's made progress, I was anticipating.
Yeah, so the two car there of Rushworth into top 10 now, and they're one of a few cars that were brought out by Pleasure and Right Height, post-qualification right height checks.
Expected to get it checked and then get included then and sort it out for the race.
Absolutely.
So they have lost 40 seconds to the leader. There's the Boxster. There, Michael Downing. He's just starting to get away from that battle that he's been involved in. Great battle all the way through the field here.
It's worth mentioning as well when we get to the pit stops, those starting about 11 minutes time now, that some drivers will have to have success penalties that they have to serve after having good results in previous races. That 28 car is in at Stewart now, they've got that up on the jacks as well. So we sort of get the track limits penalty, but also some checks on the cars and the non-mandatory stop here. We have pit stop penalties. In particular, 30-second penalty, as we see the 235 car going slowly again. Carlton to Rob Baker, they have a 30-second penalty to serve. I won't give you the full list at the moment. Well, the ones with 30 seconds penalties are Luke Handley and also the Joel Oswick D'Adesano car, and also Paul Scipioni and Jonathan Hayes. They all have 30-second penalties to serve, the several with 20 or 10 seconds in previous races.
They only need to serve it for the first pit stop, I believe, so they don't need to do that twice. So you have to then try and make time up later. There's one of the front runners in Class B, Jonathan Packard. He's third in his Golf, and he's been chased by the similar car Chris Freeman. So the area motorsport Golf's high up. Here's the battle in Class A, and that was further down the overall order. Sliding the car around is Jonathan Packard. These Class B area Golfs are solo driven, aren't they? Luke Handley, Jonathan Packard, Chris Freeman. So we'll see how they get on. But it's Matt Fazy who leads Class B in the 40k event that he shared with Steve Hughes, so he's 6 seconds ahead. And they're just being passed by Colin Gillespie right now, who's up on the pit lane in his Sayat. He shares with Phil Driver. And here's a channel down the inside for Chris Freeman. Breaks late, goes through ahead of Jonathan Packard. So that's Chris Freeman through. He finished third earlier in the season at Croft. Jonathan Packard behind. He was the class winner at the first round at Donington Park.
Half 45 driving the centre track. That's Mark McMahon in the Honda Civic Type R, the driver from Letterkenny over in Ireland.
It's the Irish drivers, isn't it?
It is.
That are being instructed by the Motorsport UK track limit regulations at the moment. 15 seconds is Cole Swift's lead. He's halfway there, isn't he, to pulling out this 30-second margin. But for second place, Ian Jones has now been caught by Will Stacey. Class B battles continue out on the circuit. Andy Childs is fifth now, by the way. He's got past fielded and he has caught Mark Grice, the poleman. So Andy Childs continuing to make progress. Where's Christopher Freeman then? And he's running now third in class after making that pass at the beginning of the lap.
The Charlie Dark car we saw in the pits back out on the circuit, I think that originally came in because the car was, as they described it, hesitating. I wasn't sure why the car was behaving in that way, but I did send it out to see how it panned out, but it didn't look like that was a complete success, potentially, when the car did go back out. So we'll see if they can continue the race.
The Class B battle continues in the Darkside and Gold. So as Colin Gillespie dives up the inside of Luke Handley's version, which it wasn't Luke Handley's pace on the exit of the corner much good, but Gillespie wants to get through, he wants to make up places. That position will be, 13, won't it, for him? He's got decent paces in the 6s, so a similar type of time to Mark Bryson has been doing. He started from pole.
Yeah, he's just half his way through some of the Class B runners, isn't he? And getting onto the table with the top 11, which are all Class A cars. Now, the only Class B car still ahead is about 5 seconds off the road, and that's the Fazy and Tucson car.
Car 10 to the pit lane. It's a car that was started by Fennick, shares with Andy Shepherd, the Lotus Elise in Stripe. So that's a shame there. Looks like they pit lane to the engine department. So that car is another early pit visitor before the window opens. Mechanical issue.
It's one of the British Sports Car Services entries, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the only one in this race.
Yeah.
Here's for second 30 in traffic. This is exciting. Will Stacey tries to go right round the outside, around the back marker as well. Can he get past Ian Jones? It'll be a mighty move if he can pull it off. They come into shot. Where are they going to work out? Well, it's Stacey down the inside. Fantastic move that to get himself up ahead of Ian Jones. Can he keep it on the exit? How much power has that BMW got? But I think it's got quite a lot because he's drawing back alongside Stacey. They're side by side in the traffic, and he goes back through to Ian Jones, the front runner in the BMW Compact Cup for a number of years. He's driving this modified version car. It's probably about 20 seconds a lap faster than the car in original form. The car's owned by Martin Gadsby. He's driving it really well, and he's back into second place. It's fantastic battle in the traffic. This is what endurance racing's all about.
Absolutely, and they were just lapping a moment or so ago the BMW of car 53, that's the 328i BMW of Joel Oswick, who is still leading in Class C in 32nd place overall ahead of Baptiste to Mark 98, and the number 121 car, which is that of David Russell and Ed McKinn in their 3 Series that we often see out in the Armed Forces races.
This battle for second is being caught by Andy Schultz, who was 2 seconds quicker on the last lap. He's up to 4th now, and Andy Schultz started way down the grid, outside the top 20, row 14 actually. Did Andy Schultz. He's up to 4th place now, and captain this man, Will Stacey, in his Lotus Elite, which has got a great big rear diffuser on the car. You can see there the car that's won yesterday's road sports race in the hands of Rob Boston.
120, by the way, now getting the track limits warning flag as well. That's Matthias Radstock in the invitation class Lotus Elise.
Ian Jones got away in the traffic, you can see here in his compact, from Stacey's Elite, and then here comes Andy Schultz through the traffic with Mark Grice's Audi in there as well. Andy Schultz, the former Britcar champ in the top speed M3 here today, is lapping that Volkswagen Sirocco that I mentioned, the John Morton and Stuart Mead car. This car on the 1.2 turbo engine, built within 24 hours, 13 years ago now. And he's now about to be lapped by the Capture Motorsport Audi of Mark Grice. They're in 5th position. And then you can see the Class C leader in all of this as well, that Ian just mentioned, 53, the car share, well driven now by Joel Oswick, BMW 328i, who finished as the race winner at Croft earlier in the season, hence why they got that penalty.
So, let's see there, the 49 car in 3rd place of Will Stacey. Heading down towards the left-hander at Palmer. There's the car he's chasing, and more than 2 seconds between them now. Quite long gap back there to Schultz at the moment, but he is closing slightly on those cars ahead. The lap times have dropped away a little bit as more traffic is now being encountered by the front runners.
You know, there's a lot of it on the previous lap, wasn't it? They've dealt with that now. Liam Middrake is there in 6th. He's got himself up ahead of Tilnib now.
3 Lotuses almost side by side there down into Agostini, but Midway, the one that's on the lead lap there.
It looks like now behind him is Andy Marston, who gets a bit sideways, but he's put himself up ahead of Phil Nim, who in turn has Ben Rushworth to deal with. So Ben Rushworth has caught this battle. We've really got 6, 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th, not separated by very much. We've got Ryan Parker's Audi TT in there too, and Ben Rushworth dives up the inside of Phil Nib and a back marker. They went either side of the back marker. Rushworth chose the right way. He's learning all the time this year, isn't he, about lap traffic. He didn't really have to deal with that in his previous sprint race in Exploits, and that was a real thing for him to get used to early on in the season.
I think the interesting thing as well is he's still only about 40 seconds behind the leader, so he's not really lost any more time, has he, over the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes or so. Let's head down to the pit lane here.
I'm down here then at the garages at the number 10 car, and I'm here with Andrew. Andrew, what's going on with the car then?
Well, we had a loose alternator connection which was causing a voltage drop and a misfire, so it was only in 4th and 5th on full power. We're getting intermittent power delivery, so we won't be able to get the straights, and of course the Snetterton 300, especially in Lotus, you need that speed. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we've sorted the connection and Rob's circulating now, so hopefully we've sorted it.
Hopefully those gremlins won't get the best of you.
Hopefully, 3 hours, so we'll see.
Long way to go. Thank you, Andrew, for that one. Andrew Shepherd there with that update. It's back to you.
Thanks, Kieran. Yes, still 2.5 hours of this race left to go. Confirmation changed on that lap with Andy Marston and Ben Rushworth both making up positions on that lap, so they've gone 7th and 8th, and off the circuit there is number 5, that's Jonathan Packer from 16th position and 3rd in Class B. Briefly off at Murray's there, he's got a little bit in hand over to the next car in that class, which I think is the Janetta, isn't it, at number 8, being started by Chris Webster.
Yeah, so that's good for Jonathan Packers. That means he loses more time than Chris Freeman, who took that 3rd position away from him a couple of laps ago in the class. Steve Cheatham there isn't going as well. Perhaps those issues that I saw earlier will have to work in the car, but we might expect from Steve. He's 18th here, sharing his car for a change from David Hornsey out his box, and Ben Rushworth round the outside of Andy Marston gets another place into Williams. So great move there from Ben. He's up to 7th now, so that's 45th or whatever it is, basically started from the pit lane up into 7th position within half an hour, and he's not that far behind Liam Bidway here, who's in 6th position in his Lotus Exige.
27, the car of Will Beach and Mark Price, started by Mark Price. That's now getting the track limits warning flag as well, so they will need to watch their step for the remaining 150 minutes of the race.
So there's Rushworth through in that Porter Miller run Seat, who only a couple of laps ago was 7th. He's now, he was 9th, he's now in 7th position. And behind there's been a change because another place lost by Phil Nim. This time it's Ryan Parkin that's of course ahead of him. Ryan Parkin in the Audi TT that this weekend he shares with Dan Sylvester. Great to have that TT out there. It's a petrol engine car at the moment. I think the Darkside development team are planning to turn that into a diesel engine car at some stage. That's their business, diesel engined cars. So we're going to look forward to perhaps on that in the future.
So 2.5 hours after this, the pit lane window now open, isn't it, for official stops as well. See the 28 car getting back out into the race. That's the Andrew Stewart car that's been there for a while. The Dublin 2.4 litre Civic Type R.
Just saw that going through that 10th place car after they switched around. Here's 11th, the Seat. That's Matthew Wallace. And then Colin Gillespie is now 12, so his car's all the Class B cars, which is still led by Matthew Faze. He's 3 seconds ahead of Luke Handley, who's been caught by Chris Freeman. And Chris Freeman is the quickest of the Area Motorsport Golds today, so far in this race. There is a Class B leader going through. That's Fazy. A good job by Steve Hewson and his team to get that Porsche Cayman back out, because they had a big accident at Spa last time out.
Jonathan Packer now getting a track limits warning flag. Well, we saw off the circuit, didn't we, a lap or so ago, so that certainly explains that.
There's about a second in Class B, because as I was suggesting, Christopher Freeman is catching Luke Handley here. Luke Handley, the class championship leader. And here's Ben Rushworth. He wants more positions because he's caught Liam Bidway in that Lotus Exige now. He's in 6th. Rushworth is 7th. Wonder if he can make the number place here, Ian.
It's a good chance, I would think, isn't he? Ben's best lap time is a 2:05.82. Bidway's at 2:07.40. So he's lapping quicker than him. He's also lapping quicker than Mark Price as well, who is another little way up the road as well.
Notice this was second, Ian. They've put themselves back together because Ian Jones has been re-caught by William Stacey. They're 20 seconds behind the leader, but that battle is back. And there's a slippery surface flag out here opposite us, or something on the circuit. Not sure quite what.
No, I can't see anything from where we are, but yeah, slippery surface flag being shown. There is, as you can see, a bit of bodywork. It's about the 200-yard mark. Something on the right-hand side, I think it's red in colour, so I'm not quite sure what it is, but warning for a bit of debris there in any case.
Yeah, very small bit of debris, actually. So much of an issue, and Class B leaders come across the line. Matthew Fazy continues to lead that class, and he is 2.3 seconds now ahead of the goal. So I've gone a little quicker than that last lap. Luke Handley making agreement with him. Here's about a second, and it's side by side between Stacey and Jones. Ian Jones again using the BMW power to stay ahead of William Stacey's little Lotus. So still, this is remarkable. I think Ian Jones, although now he's sideways, that's not going to help his course, but he power slides out of it into traditional BMW M Sport colours as well.
Absolutely, but is he going to lose the place there? I think he is going to lose the place to William Stacey. Yep, in the first part of the corner, Stacey goes to, so possibly the momentum being sat there by that moment at Nelson, and Stacey able to go through to second position in 1 car 45, which is Arthur McMahon in the Class B Honda Civic Type R. He's now getting a 5-second penalty as well. There's the 10 car, I think, back in the pits. I think he did go out again, didn't it? But that's the Fenwick and Shepherd car back in the pit lane.
So Stacey 22 seconds behind Swift, and it's Jones in the pit. He hasn't come through yet into the pit lane. This is our first mandatory stop. What I was going to say is Swift's got a 30-second pit stop penalty, and I think Stacey's got 20, hasn't he?
That's right, I think.
So it might bring some numbers into contention, potentially including Ian Jones. Now, is it a problem for Ian Jones because he wasn't getting out of the car there? I could see on the brief shot that we had behind the Lotus, and we could go back to the pit lane camera if we can and get a better view of that. Is there a problem for Ian Jones, who was driving so well in the BMW Compound before? If that big slide, was that more than just a mistake perhaps?
Yeah, well, the way then that Will Stacey was able to get through very easily at the next turn suggested that there was something not quite right with that car. There's the 28 car back out in the race of Andrew Stewart, the Civic Type R. The car that had to drive a warning flag and spent quite a lot of time in the pit lane, so he's a few laps down now. So this is the battle for 6th and 7th, Leon Bidway and the 37th of Andy Marston, sharing with Brett Evans. Bidway going solo today, and they are just behind. Is that the Bushworth car still just ahead of them on the road? Yes, there it is. Yeah, absolutely.
That part. There's the diesel Gold, just lapping the Mazda MX-5, the John Munro car. Class C, still heading by 53 John Oswick. Second is the Royal British Tim Martin car. Third is David Russell heading with Keen. Yeah, John Munro's like 5th in the class, and there is Ian Jones's car. And it does look in trouble. Andy Waters, the repairer, Martin Gadsby, the car owner. They're pushing the car into the garage on the road.
Yeah, it looks like it just getting it straightened up to get it back into the garage. So that's a great shame because that car had a great qualifying session, qualified 4th, was running in 2nd position behind Carl Swift, but sadly now out of the race. So a bit of variety in the top 10 has fallen by the wayside, unfortunately. The race order at the moment is number 1 leading, that's Carl Swift. 2nd is number 49, Will Stacey. 3rd place is number 69, Andy Schultz. In 4th place, 27, Mark Price. In 5th is number 2, Ben Rushworth. In 6th is 32, Leon Bidway. In 7th is number 37, Andy Marston. 8 is number 11, Ryan Parkin. In 9th place, number 92, Phil Nebb. Rounding out the top 10 is number 6, Matthew Wallace. In Class B is number 13, Matt Fazy that leads. On number 51, Luke Handley in 2nd place. Number 14, Chris Freeman is in 3rd. And in Class C is number 53, Dan Osano that leads the way from 98 Rory Barrett to East 121 David Russell.
So 4 different types of car or makes of car in the top 4. You've got the Seat, the Lotus, the BMW and the Audi. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Up front here in this ClubEnduro 3-hour race. The longest race really of the season at Spa. They won for a little bit longer, but that was split into 2 sections. To this that was running all the way through 3 hours in one go. And Colin Gillespie, how's he getting on? Well, he's 11th now, and lapping quicker than the Matthew Wallace car ahead, 7 seconds in front. So some positions perhaps to gain yet for Colin Gillespie in this stint. He shared with Phil Driver at British GT Racing.
The Crown Paints M235i of Charlie Dark and Andrew Jepson, that's in the pits again, and it's an overheating issue that car's got. Unfortunately, so they're in the garage at the moment, possibly not to return, but there's still 2 hours and 20 minutes or so to go.
Holden going through, that's another car starting in the back, that's into the top 20 now. Car started by Will Ashmore, the Holden Commodore. So we'll go through there. Here's the little Mazda MX-5, it's running in Class A, I think it's a supercharged car that BS Motorsport put together. Ben Short's company 21st, and the car he shared with Ben Hansi. There is the Audi. And Mark Rice is 13 seconds ahead of Ben Rushworth at this stage, so he's holding on in 4. He goes into Richie's corner there. He's in the 208s. Ben Rushworth through. He's in the 205s, so he was 2.5 seconds quicker than Mark Rice on that lap. Here's Andy Schultz, who's 3rd we're watching. He's in the 207s. He's 5 seconds behind William Stacey, so he's slowly been catching him. I think it was 7 when you mentioned that a few laps ago. It's coming down at a great rate. Wonder how much quicker Bob Boston might be able to go in that car, because he was in the freeze, I think, yesterday in the road sports race, which would be quicker than what Cole Smith managed. Class C battle here at 66, which is the car that's shared with Jonathan Hayes and Paul Saviani, the BMW 3180i that won at Donington Park and at Spa, battling with the Mazda MX-5, shared with Nick Dougal and John Monroe on this 2nd at Croft.
4th within that class, isn't it? They're disputing. 40 minutes of this race here now gone. Colin Gillespie going through in 11th position, shot of him. Through the Scottish driver sharing Phil Driver. Let's head another look down in pit lane. Kieran McKinney is there with us.
Well, down here at the 117 garage, Ian has brought the car in. Ian, what's the problem?
One of the front rear bushes has just failed. So we're just swapping it out for a new one, try and get out there and finish the race and enjoy yourself. That's what you're here for, so that's what we're going to do.
How long do you reckon the repair's going to take?
Hopefully about sort of 15-20 minutes. Andy at AW Transport, brilliant, so he's on it now and get us back out.
We'll see what happens then. We'll want to see you back out there, Ian.
Yeah, it's a shame because I was having a good little battle for 2nd and 3rd with Bob Boston. That little Lotus is amazing on the infield, but he just didn't have straight line legs. So it's kind of like waving at each other every time you overtook each other. It is what it is, that's racing.
Well, hopefully we'll see you back out there with that repair then, Ian.
Yeah, hopefully.
Perfect, thank you very much. It's back to you.
Thanks, Kieran. And be good to see the compact back out on circuit. Probably will expect some Martin Ganton back out in that later on in the race, the owner of the car. Transport repairer. That's the 121 car, that's the David Russell and Eddie McKean BMW 328 that's in 3rd place for the Class C at the moment. We're getting a glimpse of that one going through. Porsche and BMW going through. That's the 98 car, isn't it? Just up ahead of them. Roy Baptiste at the moment, just in behind the 43 car of Steve Cheatham, which over David Hornsey this weekend. Just running 17th overall and I think 13th in Class A. It's all top, all Class A top 11 at the moment. On practice this morning, which was wet, got a few of the Class B cars getting inside the top 10, but not so much in the race, but the conditions are perfect now, I think.
So there's my 21, mentioning high up in Class C. Eddie McKean started, David Russell is a co-driver. 20 laps completed by the race leader Cole Swift. For 6th position, there's been a change because Andy Marston has got himself ahead in his bid rate, so he's getting himself back up there. He's Andy Marston. He's the car that he shares with Brett Evans. And Brett Evans went solo yesterday in Road Sports. And sharing the car today. So here's 98, then that's Tim Hartland and Rory Baptiste, BMW Compact, high up in Class C. They finished second at Donington Park earlier in the season, just being lapped by the Little Ginetta G40, the Matthew Kid Marshall Chris Buckley car. That's fourth in the championship within Class B. They've had their best result of a fourth at Donington Park and Croft. Their first podium here this weekend. And Snetterton within Class B, will be watching at Class C, BMW 330. Working its way through the infield.
Yeah, BMW 330 gone well in Class C. Oh, that's the BMW Compact back out already, but I was going to say 15 minutes to sort out.
Andy Orton is showing why you use him to prepare your car.
Absolutely, so that's gone back out. So is that Ian Jones that's back out in there?
It didn't look like he would get him back in, did he? So it makes sense not to have the owner of the car to get into it.
Well, they've all still got one more mandatory stop to make as well. They said they'll swap that back round again in the final stages.
No one that was turning up, but Ian Jones had stopped the car and finished. 29 seconds is Cole Swift's lead over Will Sates. He's done what he needed to. He's got that 30-second gap, and that's over a car that's got a longer pit stop anyway. So that's working out. I think there's the David Russell owned car, I think, driven by Eddie McKean, the Royal Air Force livery, obviously out in the racing challenge regularly. Just sort of Statesy go through there in a second. Andy Schultz still catching him, 4.8 seconds was the gap at the end of the previous lap. They come up towards the line with Stacey first into the 207.4 on that lap. The gap comes down by almost a full second that time. There's the BMW and the Schultz 206.5. The lead gap, the gap between second and third, I can say, now down to 4 seconds. Just comes down slightly some more. There's fourth, the Audi. So that's Mark Bright. He's now only 5 seconds ahead of Ben Rushworth. Lights are blazing in the Seat there, and he's just done his best lap of the race. Personal best for Ben Rushworth. 21 laps into the stint. Okay, the fuel's coming down, which the tyres are being worn. 205.62 there for Ben Rushworth, and he was 1.6 seconds quicker than Mark Bright for his championship.
Looking at the time screen at the moment, we can see that Carl Swift is more half in there clear now for Stacey. Obviously has a 30-second penalty at the first pit stop to serve, but Will Stacey then got a 20-second penalty at that same pit stop to serve. So we're seeing a black and white driving standards back out to number 67 David McBride. But then 35 seconds between first and third, which is Andy Schultz at the moment. So that puts Schultz in some contention, although we know that he's a much better driver than Matthew Hampson will be on the car for the later part of this race, that's certain. So still looking pretty good here for Carl Swift and Rob Bacon, I think, in terms of chances of victory, but still a long way to go. 2.25 hours, just a little bit left to go, and it will be very much all to play for, because the issue the cars, safety cars, that good. They have a good strategy. so on and so forth. So see how things pan, but certainly for the overall victory, looking good for cars which are on Baker. There is the 15 car being driven at the moment by Colin Gillespie. That car is going to have a 20-second success penalty to serve. They are just coming up at the moment to put a lap on the number 66 Paul Supply for fuel ATI, and they've done so.
Will Stacey across the line again. He's now less than 3 seconds ahead of Andy Schultz, who's another second quicker again out of the second place. Mark Wright through in 4th, into the 7th again, and Ben Rushworth across the line. This time in the 6th, it's 5 seconds behind Mark Wright. They head down towards Ritchie's, where the darkening clouds are coming back again.
Looks like it might be raining over there in that direction.
Cars in the pits, 881 is the Lewis Rose and Aaron Rose from the Civic, and 888 Graham Price and Jason Hennett for Renault Megane.
That's the 112 car being lapped. That's Manoj Patel doing full 3 hours all on his own in that road going Civic. And he's just being lapped there by Colin Gillespie in a 15 car as well.
And Gillespie trying to get the better of Matthew Wallace. That's about the 10, but then when Gillespie turned into Richard, the back end of the car got pretty loose, the car got sideways, so Wallace stayed ahead. They're actually now in 9th and 10th because Phil Neab hasn't come through, which makes me wonder if he's come into the pit lane.
Lean forward, and the problem is there's a little bit to our left that means we can't really see. There are some cars in the pit lane certainly, but I can't tell you for certain that the Nib car is one of them.
Class C, B leaders go through. That gap coming down. Steve Hughes 2.6 seconds ahead of Luke Hadley, who's only 8 tenths of a second ahead of Christopher Freeman. And it's side by side now for his 9th position as Colin Gillespie goes down the inside of Matthew Wallace and he goes through. So that's the Captain Motorsport car ahead of the Area Motorsport car, both Sayats. And that's that change then for 9th position. Colin Gillespie was a couple of seconds quicker on the previous lap. He's not 5th. Only his 2nd race in this car, which he debuted at Croft and actually finished 2nd there. Which obviously was a good effort. He went third on that occasion. He's got former British GT driver Phil Driver with him this weekend. Aston Martin ran there. You can see the sky over Snetterton. It looks pretty menacing, doesn't it?
It's dramatic, isn't it? That shot. Very artistic. But yes, you would be expecting that some rain may be starting to fall here at Snetterton in the next few minutes.
Less than 2 seconds to the next second now. So William Stacey versus Andy Schultz. The gap continues to be reduced. Particularly on these last couple of laps, Andy Schultz will be catching the Lotus driver, Stacey. Well, Stacey has had a lot of success in one-make racing, for Masters and Lotuses, but he's focusing into endurance racing with ClubEnduro over the last couple of seasons. For the Class B cars, Class B last year, now after this Class A machine. There's 88, the car shared by father and daughter, Peter and Nicola Gillett, the Honda Civic.
Yeah, I think Nicola started the car there. The pairing from Leicestershire. On the board with the second as well. The Treble 8 cars just going back out of the race season, but the box that was started by Jason Hamilton running the gap. So it may well be Graham Price aboard that car now, although they could have left the same driver.
Old Swift lapped everybody up to 14th now, I think. He's gone through probably 24 laps. And the M2 is trying to come back out the pits again. But the second place battle's up at Murray's. Oh, and off is Rushworth. Ben Rushworth is off the road at Hamilton. Looks like he might have pulled off. He's so far off the circuit.
I would say so. No, he was in 5th position, wasn't he? Having fought his way through from a pit lane start. 92, by the way, going back out. They said that Andy this. That's the Phil Nib and Andrew Rath car. But yeah, Ben getting out of the Fortin Miller prepared Seat Leon car out of the race. That's the straight on at Hamilton, isn't it? Really, well, that car's full stop.
Here's second third, just Gillette G40 between the battle now. Will Stacey versus Andy Shaw. The gap was 1.1 seconds at the start of the lap. And remember, Shaw started way back on the grid. So he continues to progress up there. Over half a minute now, though, behind the race leader, Cole Swift.
Looking at the lap time, I'm told it has started raining now at the hairpin. The times don't appear to have dropped off very much yet from the best lap time drivers today. Well, there's the 66 car, which is the Hazen Subiani car, and that is a lap ahead of the big Gillette Pizza Gillette on the Civic just behind it. Ready?
Cole Swift, I think, in this group was lapping the Class B leaders. And Class B gap there, 1.9 seconds now between Matt Fazy and Luke Handley. Then 2 seconds back to Chris Freeman. So top 3 Class B are separated by very little as they make their way to complete 24 laps of racing. It's 25 for the overall leader. The two area Golds now are right together actually as they cross the line. Handley ahead of Freeman by 0.4 of a second as they head into Richie's corner in that group of cars that are turning their way through. And that's quite the battle. See there, Jonathan Patterson dropped a long way behind. He was in that battle at one time. He dropped away from his two teammates.
Yeah, about 9 seconds behind him. Actually, more than that, 13 seconds behind Chris Freeman.
Up a second into Richie Dalton outside the coffee box window. Will Stacey versus Andy Schulz, 8 tenths of a second. The gap there now. Here are those area Golds though, battling for second and third in Class B. And good effort there from Luke Handley. Just put a back marker between himself and chasing car Chris Freeman. That's just an help out. And just up the road, you see the Porsche Cayman in Class B. Matt Fazy, Steve Hewson's machine. Just going past the Ben Rushbrook car, he's out in the car. Ben Rushbrook out of the race after what was a very good stint up to that point. Don't know obviously what the problem was, but that's a retirement, which is obviously a shame for him. The team, where he's co-driver James Brampton, well, he didn't get a go in the race.
Chris Freeman there on screen, third in class, just about half a second behind his area motor, but 2 candidates, both about 3 seconds behind
And Stacey's off.
Oh wow,
they've got track up at Hamilton.
That's 2 penalties. It looks like he's going to get back off into the circuit, so it looked like that was an off rather than a sort of pull off for Stacey.
That car needed something, or did it just load of dust come in?
I'm not sure. Try and get a view of it that comes through Williams.
It doesn't look like it's handling well.
It doesn't, do it? So
Again, could be just the tyres.
yeah, it could be causal effect, couldn't it? Doesn't it? It ought to be off there at Hamilton, but nevertheless, that's delayed that car. So Schultz would have got through then to second place, and especially then how far ahead Will Stacey is of Mark Price in the number 27 Audi RS3 TCR.
I just saw that still behind, so he's still in third. I just look up the speed now. And Schultz had got quite close to it, so whoever he was trying to go through, and that's what caused all that, we don't know, we didn't see it at the time. But there is Will Stacey, now in third position. Can he stay out? Can he pit? So this is not a bad time to pit, if he doesn't think all is well with the car, but he stays out. He says to me, he thinks the car's okay. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have headed into the pit lane and used it as one of their mandatory stops.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but it cost him 12 seconds. Slow lap as well, actually, from Mark Price in the 209s that time, so he's still 4 seconds behind Stacey.
56, we saw they were quite close. And Martin on the Bidray. Bidray is the local team coming back at the M3 that passed him earlier.
This is the 44 car on screen, that's Stuart David in the Legacy car. That's in 19th position at the moment. Stuart David, we've seen racing on TVR Tuscans in the past.
Yeah, a really nice looking Exige, that car as well. They brought out this weekend. We saw that car debut about a year ago, I think.
Yeah. That's another excuse, the TDI on Bridgeway, still running in 6th position. Doing pretty well here. Yeah, driving from Blackwood, 8-litre engine in that car.
They both just lapped Scott Parkin, who's not going as well as seen earlier in the season for his goal. I wonder if he's made a pit stop. Oh, sorry, he's 18th in the team over in this screen. So he's what, 5th in class, something like that?
Yeah, Class B, yeah. So, I don't think he's made a stop yet, though.
He finished 2nd last time out at Spa in Class B. And he's 3rd in the Class B Championship.
Is he got a problem, though? I just thought he might be like he was about to pull off there.
Now the rain reached here, so there's spots of rain on our window, but it's just small spots this time rather than the heavier rain we had an hour ago, whenever that was.
Looks that way at the moment, doesn't it? So there's two for the teams at this stage of the race. We come up to the 1 hour gone mark in the race. So teams that are possibly looking to split the race into 3 just around about now. I had 2 rushes away for pit lane activity for things of scheduled stops so far though.
38 seconds is Cole Swift's lead now over Andy Schultz, and then 18 seconds back to Mark Wright. So well ahead Will Stacey got to, and he pitted his Lotus Elite, and he hasn't come through yet. Will Stacey for the pit lane after that off 1 lap ago.
And the 120 car is out of the race, I think. That is the Matthias Radstock, Jason McNulty Lotus Elite. It's just pulled into the paddock. You can see it parked over there in Park Thermo actually at the moment.
Okay. Drama. And here's the battle forward. He's now 4th position. Liam Bidgeway goes right round the outside of Andy Marston. They can't dig down there as he aggressively changed gear, but the BMW's got the power. Liam Bidgeway's got the line though as they go into Palmer. He can't go through. Andy Marston holds on for now.
William Stacey getting the track limit this morning, black and white flag. We saw him go off the circuit at Hamilton a couple of laps ago.
And now in the pit lane, so pretty well with that car. But Kira will be able to find out.
Yeah, it'd be good to find out what's going on with the Rob Boston Racing Lotus down there. I'm sure William Stacey started. 66 has been in, so that's one of the front running cars in Class C. Hayes and Sabiani. So they have made the first of their stops. That's still to see now being led by Baptiste and by Constantino Sonoho. Now, 26 of the cars have made their stops. Second, Baptiste and Hartland, and third is still is now actually Dougal and Munro. No, thank God, still McKean is still there.
Battle to fall into the S's here. Andy Marston still ahead of Liam Bidgeway, an hour into the contact. They're working the 28th lap of the race. A little breathe, we'll look up the inside of Liam Bidgeway. Comes to nothing though, but he's good on the exit. Up towards the forum, BMW sits there on the exit, has to tap the brakes a couple of times just to bring the speed down. They go through that long forum curve, but for Liam Bidgeway, can he find space? I don't think he can to get ahead of Andy Marston. The car in 2nd place though. Andy Schultz had a slow last lap, 2 minutes 13. Wonder what that might have been all about. That means the lead gap's up to over 45 seconds.
Yeah, and just gone past the 1 hour mark of this race, so let's give you a quick rundown on the order as things stand. It's from the left by number 1, it's Carl Swift and Rob Baker. Number 69 in 2nd, Alex and Andy Schultz. 3rd place, number 27, William Beach and Mark Rice. 4th, 37, Marcel Brett Evans. 5th and 32, Beyond Bidgeway. 6th and 11, Ryan Parker and Douglas Sylvester. 7th and 15, Gillespie and Phil Driver. 8th and 6, Matthew and Simon Wallace. 9th and 13, Class B leaders, Steve Houston and Matt Basie. And 10th and 1, Luke Handley. 2nd Class B, 3rd in Class B in the Lavaco Boys, number 14. Freeman. As far as Class C is concerned, that's been led by Luke 3, Oswald and Dan Asano from 98 Roy Baptiste to Parkley, 3rd, the 1-2-1 car, taking from Ed McKean. That's the order with an hour of the race clock.
Looks like we might lost to the BS Motorsport Mazda MX-5. That hasn't done a lap review for a little while. Ben Short started the car, but shares with Ben Hansey, which will be a shame. That's a supercharged MX-5. There's Liam Bidway still battling away with Andy Marston. And Will Stacey at least comes out the pit lane. Not sure if Rob Boston's got into it or Will Stacey staying out and letting him Rob do the final stint. But that car has done its pit stop then and it's gone back out of the race in 20th position. Now that was a 6-minute lap, which would guess me maybe it's slightly over 3 minutes of a pit stop.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But then they got that 20-second penalty though as well.
69. He's got the black and orange mechanical warning flag now. That's significant. That's the second place car. Andy Schultz at the wheel at the moment. She's shared with Matt Hampton, but the BMW, the orange car, are getting the big orange spots on the black and orange flag. So the mechanical issue for that car, the driver may not be aware of. Have to go into the pits to get that checked over by one of the scrutineers.
They had that slow lap to go. Meanwhile, across the line for 4th place, Andy Marston and Liam Bidway squeezed between 2 back markers, which was quite the moment. But I think Marston's been able to hang on ahead of Bidway and all of that. That was quite spectacular stuff. Almost 4 cars abreast for a moment.
Yeah, they're heading up towards the Wilson hairpin now to back and forth, and the car behind, which is the Baton Marshall Chris Washington Snetterton 40, that was also involved yesterday. It's booted rear wing assembly in the road sports race. Just up today, the other car that was involved in that exciting moment was the Nicola Gillett on the Civic Type R. But, there's the 37 car, Marston, Evans. You head off to the Bidway, one of the drivers going solo in this 3-hour race, a grueling 3-hour race for those drivers doing the whole thing on their own.
Yeah. Bidway is slow in there out of Hamilton. Jeanette has re-caught him, which shouldn't really have happened. And has Liam Bidway got to this year? I'll back up his speed now, I think. So perhaps all is okay. But Jeanette is pretty quick through the infield.
A little bit actually. I mean, it's number 8 got a flat car, so it's quite so well equipped on a power to weight ratio basis. But nevertheless, some of these Class B cars can be pretty nimble, aren't they, through the more technical sections. 44 car you can see going back into the race. That's David Trinket, Stuart David. Stuart David started the car, but David Trinket.
Liam Bidway back to speed and things like a little bit further behind Andy Marston than what he once was. They're not 100% confident that all is well there. The Audi's into the pits. Mark Bryce is pitting the car out of 3rd position.
I think it could be about to see the 3rd trigger pit stops. Keeping an eye resting on that out the window beneath me. Possibly have some cars that need covering. Into the pits with Bidway there, 32. Car from 5th position.
Remember all as well. Question for that.
And the safety car is being called. Safety car boards are being shown from the start line gantry beneath me. Yellow flags being waved all around the circuit then. And the safety car is being brought into action for the first time in this race with an hour and 55 minutes to go. And I'm sure this will trigger Josh at pit stops.
Yeah. Everybody will be pitted who hasn't pitted.
Possibly with those that have, but you can be confident and you can get the end on fuel, I suppose.
Yeah. And there's the Andy Schultz car to get the black and orange flag. Race leader into the pits, by the way. Not sure yet what the problem there was. Not convinced even though have only orange and white safety cars come out.
No. So see if we can pick up on. We know obviously the Ben Mushroom car, about 10 laps now or something, hasn't it? So a good few laps. It's only the cars that have stopped out on the circuit. And our producer can. Finally, 1 car is in, that's from 3rd within Class C, so that's David Russell. That's what their mandatory stop.
All the Class B leaders coming in all together. Now, which ones of them have got success penalties? That leaves out here. Jonathan Patton's got 10. Christopher Freeman's got 10, but Luke Hanley's got 30. So Luke Hanley's going to lose positions here. There's Davey, quite a lot of it down at Murray's. Whether that's triggered anything. Is that part of Andy Schulz's car?
Could be, couldn't it? And that might explain why he also sort of back on the track because it's falling off there.
The Cole Swift sprinting down the pit lane. On pit wall, I think. Oh. That's all about.
Quite sure what's going on there, but lots of activity in the pit lane at the moment.
Keeping an eye on the time, the official time. There he Schulz's car is very damaged. The front left corner of that car is gone. So I think that probably perhaps is why they saved the car.
I did see some trim hanging off that car in the early stages of the race, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. But possibly that was more serious than I initially thought. And the whole of that power has come away.
It might be rubbing on the tyre as well. We saw that slow lap. That's when it happened.
Yeah.
Your wheel state is back in, so this is a second stop then, the Rob Boston Racing team. So are they going to try and do 2 hours on a tank?
Yeah.
Or is there a problem?
There's no immediate move to do any work on the car, is there? Or to do a drive change or anything like that.
The safety car's not going to have a very long train of cars, because obviously most of the cars are in the pits.
Yeah, very busy pit lane, running out of space. The area motorsport team, sorry, not the area motorsport, the Darkside development team, trying to find a spot for number 12 to get into. That's the Scott Parkin Golf, the Yorkshire driver.
There's no fuel gone into the Lotus yet, and now the rear engine cover comes off, so maybe not all well there for Will Stacey. Remember, he did have that off-track excursion earlier.
27 cars gone back out into the race. That's the Grice and Beach Audi TCR, the RS3. That's gone back out into the race, and Leon Bridgeway too is heading back out onto the circuit, just in front of the safety car train, which is coming back round.
One car that hasn't pitted is Ryan Parkin, that has taken the lead of the race.
Safety car lights are out, so it looks like is that going to be it? Is the safety car coming back in? Is the race going to get back underway? Yeah, green flag's waved. So a very brief safety car interlude, and the race getting back underway then here at Snetterton with an hour and 51 minutes to go. I think the safety car was only out for about 4 minutes there, so I think it's about a lap that it has done, and the race getting back underway. So anyone that was thinking, well, I'll do my safety car pit stop on the next lap is going to be disappointed, because it's back out into the race.
Yeah, so Ryan Parkin, the leader, and I don't think he ever got caught up behind the safety car. Second is number 6, Matthew Wallace, who did. And third is 67, Julian McBride. And now, out of the pit lane, the first of the stoppers is Rob Baker in the car that Cole Swift started.
Yeah, 6 minutes off, so that's interesting, because that was only sort of 3 minutes 56 seconds longer than a normal lap for them, and they had to be stationary for 3.5 minutes, didn't they? So
they didn't lose much time.
They didn't lose much time at all. Very, very efficiently done.
There's a huge water bottle going into the back of the Lotus Elite, the Rob Boston racing car. I think I can spot. So I don't think that Lotus is as healthy as they'd like it to be.
Yeah, I can hear Ryan as well. Right.
So, hour and 50 to go. Bit of a different complexion to this race now, with a majority of the teams now having made their first stops. There's the Schultz car that's getting back out into this. Hopefully the scrutineer has checked that he's happy with the tank plate arrangement on that. And that's that Schultz or Hamilton that's back out in there.
I think it will be Hamilton. That's an amazing amount of fluid that's been put into the Lotus. More than 2 litres, I would just put in. Phil Driver's got aboard the Colin Gillespie Seat, I think. So that car is going to go back out.
A bit of congestion there, because they're trying to negotiate their way past the Chris Webster, Matthew Tidmarsh, Janetta as well. Very congested pit lane. All the drivers have to pull in at 45 degrees to the pit garages and then be pushed back out and then drive into the live lane of the pit lane again.
A few more spots of rain on the front window. Again, only very light, I think. It shouldn't make any investment impact unless it gets harder. But there's Matthew Hampson. A minute behind Rob Baker, but ahead of probably when Will Beach taken over from Mark Rice. They were still there at Murray.
Yeah. So there must have been something else that precipitated the safety car.
I wonder if something that then got cleared quickly,
Yes.
or it will by itself.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
There's the Andy Martin Brett Evans car. They're behind. Oh, he's got there. He's starting with Pete's there. See the big black lines left. The guy in front of me is the car that hasn't stopped. Matthew Wallace second in the race.
Yeah. So, and Julian McBride is the other non-stop, isn't he? So Ryan Parky and Matthew Wallace, Julian McBride, three non-stoppers effectively at this moment. There's Carl Swift and Rob Baker. Rob Baker now is in the middle of the car. Actually in fourth position. It's quite like they've made a stop to effectively the equivalent of putting 2 laps.
Matt Bain's the Cusick car leads Class B now by 11 seconds because of Freeman penalties. And Luke Andy's lost even more time, obviously. He's third though, so in Class B, fourth from Hacker. And fifth, Matthew Didmark from Mazda Class C. That's still headed by Joel Cosmic and Dan Sano. Second, Roy Baptiste and Tim Hartland. And third, Johnny Hayes and Paul Saviani.
Yeah, so they've got ahead of Russell and McKean, haven't they? Russell McKean had a long stop, 8-minute 12 lap. So that's just a long scheduled stop for them.
Left Lewis up on second car as well.
Could have been, yeah. So safety car and the pit stop on the same lap. Cost them some time, clearly. I mean, West Phil Drive, that was nearly an 8-minute lap as well. They had a similar thing. So it's 11 Ryan Parkin is leading, 6 Matthew Wallace in second, 16 Julian McBride in third position for the moment.
The Will Stacy Rob Boston's car in 23rd. It has done 2 3-minute pit stops, whether they need to make another one fuel. They didn't even bother to put any fuel into it.
No.
That car doesn't got through shots. So that's a big one last time. The last lap wasn't very quick. Even went out that was starting up.
Rob Baker's just gone through his first flight lap. It's got to a 7.86. That's all lap fastest in the head of the chart as yet unstopped. And Matthew Hampson was his first flight lap as well, possibly. Which was slower than what we'd seen by Schultz.
Already been passed by Will Beach second, stoppers. Third, Stoppers Hampton, fourth, Big Graham, fifth, Marston and Evans. See here, the 888 car. The Renault Megane, Graham Price and Jason Hennifer. The 2-litre RS 250, led by Pure Track, Graham Price, the car owner. Up where Rob Baker is, I think, in Westwood Boss.
Yeah, it's there, isn't he? What car? Just making his way through the traffic.
Over a minute ahead of the Will Beach and Mark Rice Audi.
Yes, that bodes well for him. That time through, come back in Hamilton's there, 2:13 lap, 2:05 that Andy Schultz was doing. That's the car that's going to drop down in the order one would suspect, because Leon Bidgeway only about 4 seconds or so behind it and lapping 4 seconds or so a lap faster.
We're going to be compact speed again. Jones and Gatsby car, they're 39. And
yeah, that was another long stop as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 minutes at that. Yeah, also unusual. There's quite a wiper on there, 481, so there's a bit more range out there possibly. That's the ex-Christian Andy Gay BMW M3. Let's find out what's happening down there in the pit lane.
Down here at the 69 garage, and I'm here with Andy Schultz. Andy, you brought in on a mechanical, then the safety car came out. That was a bit perfect timing, wasn't it?
It would have been, yeah. I was a bit concerned because I knew I could see some orange bodywork at the last turn, and I thought, oh no, what's that? But I think it must have been clipped on the second lap up in turn 2, and that obviously started the thing, and then it just came off later on. So it was a bit awkward, but you know, it was a good time for a pit stop, so that's okay.
Absolutely, and they've taped it up what they can, and they've sent it back out. So what's your target from here?
Well, we're hoping that we can get the car through to the next pit stop and I'll jump back in again. But we've got a couple of issues. It cut out twice and I had to restart it, and that's a real pain because you lose places again. And then we've got a bit of a vibration appearing again, so we've got to try and see if we can get it through a bit further. Well, like more than an hour, I can tell you out there.
Well, I'll have to keep an eye on you then, Andy. But perfect, thank you for speaking to us.
No problem at all.
It's back to the commentary box.
That's Kieran, and interesting to hear there from Andy Schultz after his stint of an hour or so to a slightly premature end. Hour and 43 minutes remaining in this race for the TFSI ClubEnduro Championship. It's being led by number 11 Ryan Parkin, 6 Matthew Wallace, 67 Julian McBride, but none of those cars have yet made their stop. The first of the stoppers is number 1 Rob Baker from number 27 Mark Rice and team 69 Matthew Hampson. It's Class A cars now for the first 8 places. Back in the Class B cars is the Porsche, Steve Houston, Matt Fazy, Chris Freeman, 10th position overall, second Class B in the Golf. Black and white driving styles by just being shown now to car number 99. That's Joe Williams, driver of the Golf.
I've got a bit confused, and I've wondered if I've worked it out about this is 120 you saw in Park Bowman,
Yes.
but then 23rd. I wonder if that's a relay car, right?
yes.
Like in the invitation class.
That would make sense. So Jason McNulty possibly has this car. Yeah, that's a good call.
I did wonder whether there was any. That makes good sense. See the diesel Golf going through there. The Darkside development car, Scott Parker is 18th now in that car that finished second last time out at Spa. It's currently third in the class championship. Car 270 brake horsepower, 2-litre TDI engine. The ex-Volkswagen Toucan converted to diesel by those diesel experts, Darkside Developments. The driver for the car is 32 years of age, Barnsley. Race winner with the MSBT series, now stepping up into the ClubEnduro Championship position. There is his brother's car that leads the race. That's Ryan Parkin, the Audi TT, that runs the 2-litre TFSI engine, 2017 car. Run by Darkside Development. Ryan's 2 years old, 20 is his Scottish twin brother, and he's been racing in 2018.
And he's sharing with Daniel Sylvester today. It's Ryan Parkin. Previously he's been sharing with Adam Blair, former British Formula 3 Championship driver. It's Daniel Sylvester who raced yesterday in R2s with some podium finishes for the first time. So he's poised by that success, I'm sure, when he gets into the car for the second part of the race.
Another place lost absolutely a big way, moved up to 6th. Down to 7th, being caught by Andy Martin and Brett Evans in his car.
Yes, absolutely. So they are all on their 36th lap. The 3 leaders have already completed 36 laps, but they've yet to make a stop. And Aston Martin, Swift and Rob Baker now, well, they are also now on the same lap as the leaders, 36 laps in the book, but about 3/4 of a lap. That will soon get overturned when those 3 cars have to make their mandatory stops. First of 2 mandatory stops.
There's car number 15. That's probably Gillespie now Phil Driver there in 14. Phil Driver raced in with GT and Aston Martin in the past. Nowadays he races ClubEnduro and he's had a number of cars out in this, but now he's sharing with Ronnie Gillespie in this Seat 14 position, half a minute behind Jonathan Packer. So time to find. I think they've been a bit unlucky going to start on the pit lane, but then they got caught up behind the safety car before they made their pit stop. They lost some time. Where most others don't off too much.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
There's Matthew Wallace.
Second place. going past the 999 Honda, isn't it?
It's just 8 seconds ahead of Julian McBride, who's going quite well. The 54-year-old from Oxfordshire, third position in his M3. The Jessica racing car, second for the Wallaces in their area motorsport Sayat. And the Mazda's in the garage.
Okay, so that's retirement by the looks of it for John Munro and Nick Dougal.
So both the TWP cars you can see, and that is the Lotus Tournament still.
I think they've been there for a while because they've only completed 26 laps. The leaders are now completed 27 laps. That's getting around the race, unfortunately. There's the 117. That's the BMW Compact. That's running in 38th position after 2 stops. They've completed 29 laps, or 8 laps behind the leaders now.
Green flag waving in the background. Murray around the circuit. Oh, that's potentially white. It's a Jason McAnulty Lotus that's off. That's the exit of Nelson. So yeah, that Lotus turned white. Now with a different car. So perhaps down there in the pit lane, they might be needed to get the Matthias Radiston car ready again, because the relay car is stopped. Jason McAnulty's not really been out there for very long.
Not terribly long amount of time. It looks like the car has expired on him nevertheless. So yellow flags being waved at that marshal post at the bomb hole. Marshal's post at the marshal years ago. That's the 27 car going through then. The car that's in 5th position, but effectively second as the 3 leaders make their stops. That's completion Mark Rice. They are a minute and 13 seconds behind Carl Swift and Rob Bacon, falling further behind actually because they had a slow lap time for 2:08.27. And they are heavily on Ridgeway. Wriggle room.
Yeah, there's a gap of 22 seconds at the back of Ridgeway.
He's also done a slow lap actually to 11.95, isn't it? That's just the traffic course.
Behind them there's been a change to 7th because Brett Evans got ahead of Matthew Hampson. Change position there. Hampson down to 8. 38 laps done by Ryan Parkin, the race leader. Second, Wallace, 34 right. 3 cars still yet to make this first one, showing how long a car can go to the fuel there.
10-second penalty now for car 28. Well, that's one of the Irish drivers, Andrew Stewart, in his Honda Civic Type R, so that'll be to add the 5 seconds he's already picked up. So he's been further infringing the track limits there.
There is Matthew Hampson. That will be lapped, I think, by Matthew Wallace. He did a quick lap last lap, 2:08.0, almost as quick as he's gone during the stint. Which shows the pace as the car gets lighter on fuel.
Yeah, absolutely right. That's the 92 car you can see going through shot there. It's just ahead of the Beach and Bryce car. So that is on its 37th lap. Beach and Bryce car is on its 38th. So yeah, that's about to be that once again.
Of course, that car lost out. They made an early pit stop, pit in. The safety car wasn't out, so they lost a bit of time there. The Phil Nib and Andrew Backcar, they ran in 12th position. They're not going to say it layoffs.
Far away from the halfway point of this race now. Only 5 minutes left to go before we get to the 90-minute to go mark. Running down on positions at that stage. Hotel going through. As well.
So Liam Pidgeray then, you noticed we had a slower laugh. That might have been to do with traffic. It took the next lap's light. A 2:11 last time, a 2:07 that time, so much better. So that's going well, up in 6th position. 5 seconds ahead of Andy Martin and Brett Evans, E46 M3.
Ed McKean and Dave Russell, they've now got the black and white driving standards playing as well because track limits infringements that others in 3rd place still in Class C. BMW 328. There is the black and white flag going out to them to repeat the message on the electronic gantry above the pit lane.
Will Stacey and Rob Boston's car just gone through. That car is back up to speed, 2:06 on the last lap, which is as quick as anybody else is going out there. Well, there has been 2 pit stops and they're in 21st position overall as it stands. 999 here, that's the Ricky Cumber and Mark Simmons Honda Civic, one of the newer cars, the SK2 I think that is. Car that's raced with the Creventic organisation in Europe. Endurance races, 12 and 24-hour races. Cars done in the past. I think out in Dubai, David Drinkwater raced that, who we see regularly at 750 Motor Club meetings. And that's about to be passed potentially by the Volkswagen Sirocco, that Nürburgring 24-hour specification car. John Maudsley and Stuart Mead car that is running in 23rd position. That's actually a battle for position because Cumber and Simmons are 22nd. So you've got John Maudsley there, the 71-year-old from Wirral. He's been racing for 50 years. Former Volkswagen Golf champion. Shown with Stuart Mead, who's a former European Supercar champion out in that car. And trying to get past the Honda. They're side by side now for 22nd position in the race. And the Volkswagen Sirocco goes through. The Saxon Motorsport run car then gains a place.
Certainly does, getting the advantage of the Type half the drivers from Maidstone. They've got the quicker car behind them now, the 117 of Gadsby and Jones, which is just trying to unlap itself really.
I think the leader might be in the pit lane. Ryan Parkin hasn't completed his latest lap.
He is. It is Ryan Parkin into the pit lane now from the lead of the race. So we'll see where he filters back in after all of this. 3-minute stop that he has to make, of course. He has got actually 3-minute 20-second stop to make. He's got an extra 20-second penalty as well. Can't quite see from here whether he's handing over to Daniel Sylvester or not. But I can't see anyone with a mullet out there in the pit lane, so presumably that means that Daniel's got his helmet on as he's getting in the car. Pretty much halfway through the race.
Yeah, that's right. So it's Matthew Wallace now that leads the race by 13 seconds over Julian McBride. There's Ryan's brother, Scott Parkin, is 18 still. There's the Class B leader, Steve Hewson and Matt Fazy. And they've really been caught by Chris Freeman, because remember that gap went over 10 seconds because of the success penalties, but Freeman's been catching him. The gap was 3.9 seconds after the previous lap. They now complete 39 laps, and Chris Freeman is 3.6 seconds behind, a slightly quicker lap again. There he is, car number 14, second in class.
Absolutely. Those threatening skies never really came to anything, did they? It's still grey and overcast out there, but it doesn't look like it's threatening rain imminently. I think the forecast was to actually get brighter as we got close towards the end of this race as well.
Depends what forecast you looked at, really.
It did, to be fair. Coming up towards the 90-minute mark in this race, the erstwhile leader has gone in, but still Matthew Wallace is out there, still Julian McBride. So of course Julian McBride's going solo, so he doesn't need to worry about handing over to another driver, but he's still got 2 pit stops to make. Matthew Wallace will hand over to Brother Simon. Both of them used to race in the Mark IIs and then in Type Rs as well after that in Civics. But racing this Seat these days. Right, we've had 90 minutes of the race now, so let's give you a quick rundown on the order. It's number 6 leading, that's Matthew Wallace, and Simon Wallace. Second is number 67, that's Julian McBride. In third place, number 1, Carl Swift and Rob Baker. Fourth, number 27, Will Beach and Mark Rice. As Carl Swift has now gone into the lead of the race, because he's got past Julian McBride, and Matthew Wallace I think has come into the pit, so I'll give you that runs down again. Number 1 now leads Carl Swift and Rob Baker. 67 Julian McBride second. 6 Matthew Wallace and Simon Wallace third. 4th 27 Will Beach and Mark Rice. 5th number 32 Leon Bidgeway. 6th number 37 Andrew Marston and Brett Evans. 7th number 69 Matthew Hampton and Andy Schultz. 8th number 11 Ryan Parkin and Daniel Sylvester. 9th number 13 Steve Hewson and Matt Facey. They lead Class B. Second in Class B and 10th overall is number 14 Chris Freeman. Third in Class B and 11th overall is number 51 Luke Handley. Then in Class C That's being led by Joel Oswick, or Dan Osano, which is over with us, in number 53. They're 26th overall from number 98, Roy Baptiste and Tim Hart in their BMW. And third in Class C, still the 121 car, David Russell and Ed McKean. They're only about 11 seconds clear, Hayes and Subiani. There's the former leader of the race, number 11, Ryan Parkin and Daniel Sylvester, about to head back out into the race. But the new race leader now, Josh, is Class Swift.
Yeah, so that's what we were expecting, and the others pitted, as they have done now. Class B leader here, heading into Palmer. Steve Hewson and Matt Fader. There's even a lap for Scott Parkin's Golf, which is a car they battled with back at Wellington Park in the year, but here around Snetterton, the Golf, they're not so fast, but it is Hewson and Fader that lead the class. They finished second earlier in the season at Donington, had an accident at Spa, so they've had to repair the car over the last 3 weeks or so, and they've done that. The car going well again. The 2017 2-litre turbo Porsche Cayman that's backed by Intelligent Money. Both are driving that car, former champion Matt Fazy and Steve Hewson, driving different machinery in the past.
42 laps completed now by our race leaders, Carl Fazy at Car Swift, Stephen and Bob Baker. We see the 13 car off Steve Hewson and Matt Fazy go through. And the 69 car, is that in problems again?
A bit slow there.
It was Matthew Hampson. That's just on the exit of Wilson Hairpin.
Andy Schwartz saying the car's cutting out. She's done that again. The last at Hampton did a pretty good lap at 209, but it's not going to be so good if the car slows.
So here's the Class B lead, so Hewson and Fazy, and that's Intelligent Money sponsored car.
A second, catching Chris Freeman.
They are. What's the gap between those two at the start of the lap? It was, I'm trying to look, at 2.4 seconds or something like that. It looks like it's a bit less than that now, doesn't it? As the number 6 car, Matthew Wallace and Simon Wallace car gets back in. So the race, the Area Motorsport run vehicle.
1.4 seconds is the new gap. As Freeman, have a solo driver, halfway through the race. What to do basically, what he has done is catch in. I think now it's Steve Hewson of Walker Cayman. So what can Chris Freeman do here? He's having a really good run in the area midfield Volkswagen Golf. His best result so far this season came across the 3rd place. He raced a Civic in the past and went well in that. Down into Agostini. It's very different cars these. They're both 2-litre cars. Oh, and a big lose there for the Rock Boston and William Stacey Lotus. It's something broken on the car, perhaps. That was heading up towards Coram. It's awful at the beginning of Coram. I think the drivers did not want it to continue. So I think coming out broken now on the Lotus Elise that was running in 23rd position.
So that might need a recovery as well from where it's come to rest. It's on the inside of the approach to Coram. It's way off the edge of the circuit, but nevertheless, the officials might want to do something about that. Here's the Hewson and Fazy car, still being chased for the Class B lead though by Chris Freeman.
Never more, yes.
Yeah, 1.4 seconds. You said it was at the beginning of the lap. Like a bit less than that now, I think. As they head through, so they've gone past that incident, and there are yellow flags there waving at the marshal's post before Palmer, and green flags there, pretty much at the midpoint of that long right-hander. These cars close together again, 1.4 seconds was the gap between them, but over the line they come again.
So close now, you don't need a stopwatch really, do you? So turn into Ritchie's together. They're now 6th and 7th overall, these two Class B cars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2:10.37 that time for Chris Freeman, and a 2:11.32 for Hewson and Fazy. it's that Julian McBride, I think, who's been then go back out again.
There's another slow Lotus up at core, and that's Liam Bidway, who he's been running in third position. But Liam Bidway slow. I can see out the box window heading down towards Murray's. Class B lead back will continue. There's a white flag on the other side of the track as well.
Yeah, there is, just behind us. We've now got a safety car coming out as well, so we know we've got the Boston Racing police off there. The Bidgeway car that's going slowly as well.
I think that's the longest that car's before, so
Yeah.
we're going well.
Yeah, and 37 minutes into the race.
Jonathan Packer's pitted immediately, the driver third in Class B, which could be a shrewd move. Although this next up here, you'd think would be a touch longer than the last one.
Right, I can see a medical car heading out through the paddock as well, so possibly that's needing to attend to somebody as well. So safety car at the moment here at Snetterton in this Giwa ClubEnduro Championship race. There's a slow car that's been, I think it was a slow car, so probably fair enough for the cars to pass it, but we do have yellow flags and safety car boards all around the circuit now. So what was a decent battle for the Class B lead, that will have to, for the moment, sort of fall back into line. There is the safety car out on circuit, and it's picked up, is that the 28 car? I think it's picked up, hasn't it? The Andrew Stewart Honda. So I should think we'll get a busy pit lane again, Josh.
Yeah, so Jonathan Packer the first person in, but 80 minutes, probably a lot of cars to do that, so I suspect everybody's going to be hitting, as you say.
Including the 12 car, that's in as well.
Loads of parking. Rob Baker went through, perhaps that was before the safety car was pulled.
Yeah. But Parkinson is heading towards Paul as well, so drivers out. I hope Paul as well, but at that part of the circuit. Good news as we get it.
Tyre change potentially on here for Scott Parkin.
Yeah, that's right. Yellow flags then all around the circuit, and indeed from the start line as well, with the race being neutralised. So those cars that stay out on track will try to form up into Crocodile. The 37 car though is in as well. That's the third place car now, Andy Marston and Brett Evans, with a couple of retirements ahead of them. They've moved back up into that third position.
Moved into the safety car. Pick up in terms of the race leaders here.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen a shot of that.
Is oh my goodness.
That was interesting from Chris Freeman as he came out of Williams that time. It looked like he was going to get past the 13 car for a moment.
It looks like Baker's done 44 laps, everybody else has done 43, so I wonder if they've lucked in to the others being caught behind the safety car. Or have the others going to pits?
Well, we know that Marston and Evans had done. Yeah, Beach and Chrysler in there as well.
So perhaps they've not lucked into this thing. They're going to have a slow lap behind the safety car. We'll see what happens.
Yes, and so they may well pit at the end of this. I think this safety car might be a bit more long-lived than the previous one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was only one lap, wasn't it, really, behind the safety car?
Couldn't be short.
No. True.
So there goes Jonathan Packer. He's do well here out of Class B because he came in first. The others are still stuck behind the safety car, and he's come out and he's on the same lap as them. No, a lap further back, but it could work out well for Jonathan Packer there, I think.
So we've not got to the position yet where the Boston Racing Lotus is being recovered. There is now a recovery truck just pulling up next to it, I think, up there at Forum.
Well, the M2's going to back out the pit lane. It's had all those problems.
Not seen it for a little while, have we? I don't think.
You have a Crown Paints car.
Yeah. The sort of colour swatches decorating.
Why is one car in the safety car train slowed right down?
Question, Josh. 49 going, 45 I should say, going back out into the race, so that's Arthur McMahon. Sometime fit into a race, I think. also heading back out is 8, but that's McIntosh. These cars below us in the pit lane now, we're going to have to wait for the safety cars to go first.
Here comes the race leader, Rob Baker. That Cole Swift with the headset on. i.e. not getting it back into the car.
Might well be. But Rob Baker's getting out.
Yeah, he has to get out so they can refuel it.
That's true, yeah, so he's getting out, they'll refuel. No sign of him taking his helmet or anything off, though his helmet going to stand there with the extinguisher.
The Audi, which is a lap behind at this stage, goes out of the pit lane. It's one lap itself, isn't it? That's it. It'll be interesting how it all works out.
Yes, so 6 Matthew Wallace, or someone, so they've now made 2 stops, haven't they? Simon Wallace has gone back out into the race. So they've made 2 stops. Checking 13th though.
Rob Baker getting back into that Sayat now. Are they going to change the tyres or are they just checking pressures? Martin Evans going back out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd stopped a few moments before, hadn't they? Safety car still running here at Snetterton.
Yeah, they're doing a tyre change on the Sayat.
Possibly only the front.
Oh, really? Not too much really, didn't the front wheel drive car?
No.
Didn't wear too much. And there's the Lotus going onto the back of the flatbed.
Yes, needed a full lift to get there. So that's possibly why we needed the safety car, because it was decided that the car couldn't just be pushed or towed out of the way. So efficient work being done by the recovery crews there to get that car recovered. 76 going back into the race beneath us as well. So that is Michael Downey, the driver from Paddington, in the Porsche Boxster S. He's in 26th position, one of the Class B drivers. So we can see the safety car train through Agostini.
It's Freeman's put a load of fluid into his car. Is that a drinks bottle, I wonder?
Right.
Filling his drinks bottle up anyway. Should be needed to do the rest of the race.
7.25 still to go. So safety car is making its way down the back. There's a trio of cars going relatively quickly through Oregon.
8 cars pitted.
They are, yeah.
And the wheel safety car's about to go behind the barrier. I think so. This might be the last lap behind the safety car.
Yeah, so hopefully all is well up there. And that's where the safety car is. That's on the Bentley Straight at the moment, heading towards Brooklyn and Nelson. So it's the 3 cars that are just beneath us now. The 481 car of Edward Christine, the Gillespie car involved as well.
It's going to be interesting who gets out first in Class B, because the Steve Newton, Matt Basie Porsche is there also. His name is Chris Freeman. Rob Baker's about to go back out into the race still as the leader, completing one more lap than everybody else has done. And he's got some time to catch the pack while they're still behind the safety car. The safety car's sped up now. I think the lead gap might be reduced potentially, but it's still going to be pretty big.
I think the safety car board's about to be put away.
Yeah, the safety car's sped up.
Yeah, so I think we're going to get the green flag when it comes back through, which will do any moment.
Porsche Cayman's getting out ahead of Chris Freeman, but is there much into the notes we can go out?
Yeah.
That gap's gone out. Some cars coming into the pit or coming out of the pit lane as well. As the race does restart, green flag.
It does, so green flag is waved to get the race back away. There's Chris Freeman. Sorry, no, that's the Joe Williams car getting back out into race number 99. The safety car has peeled back in. The race then getting back underway with an hour and a quarter of the duration left to go.
Matthew Hampton and Andy Short are now second. Did they not hit?
I don't think they did.
Right, they're only 46 seconds behind, but perhaps they didn't think they could do it on one tank of fuel to the end, presumably. But for Mark Bright, will be there 70 seconds behind. I guess that's roughly what it was. Then Brian Parker and Daniel Becker possibly only done 1 stop.
They've only done 1 stop so far, haven't they? They're in 4th position. But they're on the lead lap at least, as are Andy Larson and Brett Evans. And so all of those 5 within 72 seconds of the race leader. As the cars head back into Stevie Hairpin at full speed for the first time for 10 minutes or so.
So in Class B, Porsche is 7 seconds ahead of Chris Freeman. And then Luke Handley jumped Jonathan Packer in the stocks for his third now. Is that car still leading Class C? 53 it is.
Yeah, it is.
Joel Oswald down on Sano.
Still the same top three actually, as it has been pretty much all race. Oswald, Asano, Baptiste and Martin. And a bit of a gap back, because there's cars, Class B car from 3 points, keen to their third in that class. There is the 53 class lead. BMW Crown Paints car, which is more colourful than the 235 system.
That car leads Class C by 13s. After the line.
Well, I don't mean certain of victory then, for an hour and a quarter, which didn't about to go. There's the third place car.
That's a lap down, just right behind.
Yes, you're right, it is a lap down now. Third place car.
Well, so the Will Stacey car had the black rear left corner. See that car making its way through the paddock, so that way had a dramatic spin.
Yeah, and the full left suspension as well.
Suspension failure on that. It's the Class C leader then, working their way through. Lead gap 40 seconds between Rob Baker and Tim Matthew Hansen.
Yeah, that's right. Different lap times there, because Rob Baker's first lap out of the pits.
Into Ritchie's third and fourth nose to tail. Mark Rice and Will Beaton Audi and Daniel Sylvester in the Audi TT really challenging them there.
Yeah, don't forget though that the 11 car got to make another stop there, hasn't it, I think?
Yeah, could have a watch anyway on the track.
Absolutely. Probably not to be fair. Realistic reflection of where they'll finish.
Yeah, so I think probably the Audi's the second stop. And then the third stop will be the Masters and Evans car, which is only 5 seconds behind. That's a gap we need to monitor. Here is that battle on the road for third as it stands. The two Audis, they're different cars, the RS3 Audi Sport built car from the factory, and then the Audi TT that's been developed recently by Darkside Developments. Though originally developed by a different team.
Slides more skill, wasn't it?
But great to see the TT out there. The 2-litre engine machine. And the outside, Daniel Sylvester committed, and then has to cut back.
Yeah, to get past the McKean and Russell 328i. Darkside Developments car. Absolutely magnificent.
The Glenty driver team are just on their PB. Personal best 206.65. And that battle for third is now lapping the Class C leader through the S's. And now on they go. And switching up for that extra power. Williams Motor Company backs Audi RS3. Working lap 47 of the race. 70 minutes to go. So a lot of drivers now on their last race. So it's going to be a long final slog there. And this battle is lapping 4 seconds a lap slower than the race leader, Rob Baker. Now is Andy Martin and Brett Evans catching? Yes, they're a second and a half quicker.
They weren't they, on that lap? The gap between 4th and 5th is 3.2 seconds now.
See from Boston down there, inspecting the damage. Will Stacey still at the wheel when it happened. That car's not going to be coming back, I think.
No, I thought so.
So second or third, fourth and fifth all in one shot there. 2 Audi and BMW.
Yeah, Mars 11 spin, which is the back of shot there. Coming out of Agustin. We'll see if the gap comes down again. 3.2 seconds was the beginning of the lap.
At this stage, the Audi RS3 doesn't seem to have a pace, does it? Because now Rob Baker's in the 2.4, so he's going as quick as on those new tyres they got on the new front tyres, going as quick as Cole Swift went in the early stages of the race.
Absolutely, he must have had a good clear track as well to assist him on his way there.
Yeah, he sort of came out of the pit just before the restart, and that worked quite nicely for him.
Yeah.
And Sylvester's driving the Audi TT well, first time he's been out in race conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can walk there behind the Branderstone and Lotus, but then the RS3's getting stuck behind the Exige as well. Matthew Hampton's doing good lap time, the 208. We don't think he made it second.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. But I'll have to be proved wrong, but I don't think that car did stop again at this stage.
That's the quickest we've seen for the race.
Yeah. See if the lap times come down any further, that's really tight to us. But no disrespect intended. Hampton, right. Now, just about 3 seconds covering Beach and Bryson in third, Martin Sylvester in fourth, and Martin Levins in fifth positions as they get to the line to win that 148. And that is the battle that we're looking at now. Also involved there is the 44 car of Daben and Trigg. Let's head down to the pit lane once again to Kevin.
I'm here outside the number 1 garage, the leaders of the race. I'm here with Carl Swift. Carl, it's been a hectic opening 2 hours. How have you made it?
Yeah, all right, we've got some issues. We've got a drinks issue and a radio issue, so it's hard work out there with no water and no comms, but it's going well. We've put some new tyres on, so Rob should be able to punch a good lap in now and try and get the lap record, or at least the fastest lap for the extra point, so it's going good.
I'm sure our guys in the box will keep track of that, see if your wish comes true. But yeah, it's looking a bit overcast at the moment. Now, all eyes on the forecasts, or are you confident?
Yeah, we're okay in the wet and kind of hoping for the wet, really. It'll save tyres, and the car's good in the wet, so whatever happens, happens.
Perfect. Carl, thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you.
And it's back to you in the commentary box.
Just as you were talking to Carl there, Bob Swift did do a new fastest activation, 204.37. So, yeah, which is coming through there for Carl Swift at the moment. 9 laps now completed, and now 6 minutes or so to go in this race. Meanwhile, what's going on with this back third, fourth, fifth? I'm not sure it's actually changed. I think if anything, lost there today, losing a little bit of time, Josh, to these two.
Let's see how this lap's gone through the traffic. Certainly the Audi RS3 has pulling away, hasn't it? So that's interesting. The first chapter of the beach, Mark Wright seems to be losing time, not on this lap. 2077, 2081 for Sylvester, and yeah, the M3 slower, 2087.
Yeah, so it's now sort of more like 4 seconds or so between those 3 cars.
Class B, see gives them a crazy lead by 7 seconds over the
And then it's another 23 seconds back to Luke Anthony and Trevor in that class, isn't it? So that gap has elongated a little bit. In Class C, Joel Oswick and Dallas Ono nearly appearing on the first screen, our time screen for the first time. They're with the 23rd and the 53 car. They are ahead of Roy Baptiste and Tim Hartnett, still looking away there in second place in the 3:30. And David Russell and Emma McKean are a lap behind now in the 121 car in third position in Class C, 25th place overall.
Here is that Andy Martin in the Brett Evans car. Quite motorsport to do that car nowadays. Well, it's pretty moving around, isn't it? I wonder if they change tyres or not.
Perhaps not.
With the base, you know, they totally did. They're pretty clear now, even more than they were before.
Another good lap on Rob Baker, 205.1 that time. So we're lapping sort of 2 to 3 seconds a lap fastest of the cars behind. Maybe the car that's lapping the sort of 2.6s at the moment is Colin Gillespie. Phil Driver, I think, knows a bit about that car, isn't he? The 15 car in 6th position. That was one of the cars that started from the pit lane. So yeah, no one else lapping the sort of 5s and 6s there. slow lap again from Matt Hampson to the 209s that time.
The Tom could say that he will make that record. Any that record he got in this race, which is interesting. Last year it was a hot day here until
Yes, it does. In July 2023, 02. Okay.
Somebody's down correctly.
So watching there the Darkside Developments Golf go through.
The website goes
Okay. It's just a shoe that was called Swift. It's not like as well.
looks like Daniel Quebec's recalled the RS3. If anything, the M3 is getting closer again. Yeah, on this lap, on the previous lap, the slowest of the three was Beach and Fry. They're not catching Matthew Hampson, who's 25 seconds up the road.
No, not really. She thought they might do.
Hey, going quickly now as well as Phil Nib and Andrew Rathcott have gone up to 7th now in the show 7th. So I wonder if this is some key change. I'll call the car off there and see if we can get the car off the Williams. All those cars are going well, I think. Maybe after 2 occasions races there might be. But no, Janetta has been having a good race. Were 5th in the class when we did Martin and Chris Webber. They were backing a Scott Park in 2 tenths of a second to beat them. Their partners up in front of this group where Chris Webster splashed back and picked on Alan off.
Yep, back out into the race though, that Chatter has gone.
Here's the RS3 into Murray. Now it's just over to go. Still the F3 is sliding around the Evans and Marston car. The Gillespie and driver team are 40 seconds behind this battle. So that's going to be a lot to catch. But there is still now to go. So keep an eye on that. They've consistently been a couple of seconds that quicker on recent laps. Keep doing that for the rest of the race, they can do it.
Maybe I'll be able to. Coming up to the 2-hour mark in this race, 2/3 race distance will be run down on the order in a minute or so. Still, we've got the 2 Audis together here. 27 and 11 will be Mark Price and Ryan Parley and Sylvester. Just getting past the Golf there, you can see the BMW in the background of Andy Marston, but Evans again, who's closing back in. 2 cars ahead of him. This is third, 4th and 5th positions that we're seeing being contested here. So if we can get any changes through Williams, they go now for after Woggies. A bit of a curve taken there by the first of the cars, that of Mark Price as they Woggies. To right straight again. That's the 117 car. It's back up to 32nd place now. Gadsby and Ian Jones after their various dramas in the early stages.
I think John Morton and Stuart Mead might be leading the Club Cup in the Rockefeller Morocco. I can work out.
They're 18th overall, aren't they? Car 63. Oh, and off. Well, that's the number 3 car of Nick Dougal and John Monroe. That's at Murray's.
Well, they retired early.
Well, we had. Maybe they did retire, but they're back at basic contract, is it? They go for one, I would say. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then I think second in the Club Cup is John Oswick and Dan Lozano, which is quite a feat in the Class C car. So, we lost Liam Bidray, he started from pole there. I think we've lost Steve Cheatham to Foxter.
We have somewhere along the way, haven't we? Didn't really see what happened to that, but that's obviously spent some time because it did 25 laps, 52 now completed by the race leaders. See what happened to Steve Cheatham and Davis Olsen.
Same for the Roses with their Civic. The Holden as well. Well, the Holden, sorry I missed that. That's 14th, isn't it? So that's the Club leaders.
Yes, yes, you're probably right, yeah.
Yes, they're in delighted they can stay there. How much are they ahead? They're quite a long way, a couple of minutes ahead of unfortunately, and Stuart Lee.
So yeah, should be good there. That was another car that started a bit late as well, wasn't it?
They're not such a big entry in the top compared to previous rounds. Just watching on the screen, they're back number 4. Daniel Sylvester versus the BMW, absolutely together. Yeah, the Clubman Cup, the championship, didn't it? Who's leading? I know it's been a bit mixed.
I'll tell you about that. Championship led by David Gooding and Nigel Greensaw in the Jeff Steele Racing BMW. They're not here. Second seed Foxton we still were here, but didn't start the race. TWP Racing car. And then Lewis Rose and Ambrose, the first cars that are here. So really then it's 19 points for Matthew Taylor and Will Ashford. So I think I'll take the championship lead if they continue to lead the race here.
You're going to have to go, yeah?
Then it's Nick Deacon of John Monroe, Steve Cheatham, who we've already said is out of this race, Phil Driver, who is competing in a different car this weekend, so good points there, and Johnny Hayes and Paul Cipriani, Mechanic Racing Compact.
A real mix there. Steve Cheatham won at Donington, Phil Driver won at Croft, and then David Gooding and Nigel Greensaw won at Spa.
Quick rundown on the lead positions, because we've had just over an hour now. Number 1, Carl Swift and Rob Baker in the lead. From second, number 69, Matthew Hampson and Alan Schultz. Third, number 27, Reach and Mark Rice. In fourth place, number 11, Ryan Parker and Daniel Sylvester. In fifth place is number 37, Andy Marston and Brett Evans. As you can see on your screen there, we're going to get a change for third position there. We are possibly around the outside at Richie's corner. That might have changed though by the time they get up to Wilson. It looks like the 27 car Reach and Rice has repelled Parker and Sylvester for the moment, so let's get to that. I think fifth was number 37, Andy Marston and Brett Evans. Sixth number 15, Colin Gillespie and Phil Driver. Seventh number 92, Phil Nebb and Andrew Brown. Eighth number 13, Steve Houston and Matt Fazy. Ninth number 67, Julie McBride. 10th number 14, Chris Freeman. That's B, that's 13, Steve Houston and Matt Fazy. From 14, Chris Freeman, and 51, Luke Handley. Class C now into the top 20, 53, Oswick and Dan Orsano. From second, 98, Roy Baptiste and Tim Hartland, and third, 121, David Russell and Ed McKean. I think it's about 5 cars on the lead lap, I think, something like that, as we want to come to third to go on.
Yeah, quite the scrap into Agostini a moment ago. Andy Marston, Brett Evans, people down the inside, and then the best of Ryan Parkin's TT couldn't quite make the move stick. Obviously, before that, into Richie's, Dan Sylvester tried to go around the outside of the Mark Rice and Will Beach Audi RS3 that didn't come off. We've got traffic to deal with in a moment, and that will be another opportunity. Tell you what, Rob Boston Racing have got the rear of that Lotus back together in the paddock, so that might go back out, because I guess every point counts for Will Stacey's championship score. He's one of the championship contenders, so that car might go back out again. I guess the other thing to do, if they can, is try and get the fastest lap, which Rob Boston went yesterday in that car, because that'll take a point away from Cole Smith and Rob Baker's score. Could be important, although it's going to be difficult going forward. Now, is there a penalty for the Wallace car? 16.9 seconds.
Yeah, that's for causing a collision, that is. So,
time.
well, I imagine it's to swap two particular positions now.
How they okay.
Yeah, that's the question.
Which change here because the Audi's lost out, hasn't it? Daniel Sylvester got down the inside into Richie's, and now Andy Marston and Brett Evans have followed them. So and that could be the battle we think might be the second at the end of the race, isn't it? The BMW go past the RS3.
Yeah, that's right. They will be, because we think that the 11 car's got to make another stop. And they're just catching the 117 car on the road, which is turn right. So there's a relatively quick car as well, the compact, by Martin Gathering at the moment. Just 4.5 minutes to go. And it is 37 now, Martin and Brett Evans now just ahead of the number 22 27th car, Beach and Bryce. Lots of those good positions on this lap. Making their way down the Benton Straight once again. Now we're watching number 13, that's the Class B leader, Steve Houston and Matt Fazy. This is for position here for 8th and 9th overall. So Julian McBride in a Class A, number 67 car. So for class position, nevertheless a close back on track between these two. McBride on the last lap was about, obviously in fact actually did his best lap of the race, Julian McBride on the previous lap, 207.95, so he's going pretty well.
55 laps done by the leader, Cole Swift, and Rob Baker now 70 seconds ahead of Matthew Hampton and Andy Schulz. So I think into Richie's there, that pass has been made by Julian McBride, that's an 8th position away. Steve Hughes and Matt Fazy, who are 6 seconds ahead of Chris Freeman now. Although involved in this battle with Julian McBride might be the best thing for their lap times, because they might want the other car to pull away and not get involved in the battle, I think. The third across the line, Daniel Sylvester and Brett Evans pulling clear of the RS3 and lost a second and a half on that lap.
Luke Handley is just in the personal best lap of the race, the 12th was 30, that's been 209.07. I'm not sure it's going to do him much good though, because he is doing 17th and second place in that class at the moment. Chris Freeman, who we're watching on screen now, in 14th and 10th position overall. Yeah, no sport car. Making its way around Boggies. There is Class B leader. To get through, and there is second in Class B, just heading Will Williams on to Benton Straight once again with 52 minutes of the race left to go.
Class B is very competitive every time. You see this championship at Donington Park, a similar story from the pavement and Denton Golfs. Like a race-long battle, basically the same thing again. Like not nose to tail at the moment, there's not that much against between them either.
At all. So, black and orange mechanical warning flag, that's for car 46, and that is for Matty Taylor and Will Ashmore, so the Club and Cup leaders, who were frustrated after qualifying when they had found a post-qualifying ride height check. Now black and orange mechanical warning flag for the Holton 6.2 litre car.
Change for third here in because the M3's gone through, so Marston and Evans go past Parker and Sylvester.
Yeah.
That's a change. They're 22 seconds behind Matthew Hampton, so really catching him still. I think that BMW has another stop to make. So third, fourth and fifth brake hard down into the Wilson hairpin. The BMW M3, the Audi TT and the Audi RS3.
Yeah, those the three cars involved in this little scrap as they happen for some while. Chris Freeman there on screen. Last time was almost identical lap time to Houston and Fazy. Rob Baker's just in a new fastest lap of the race as well at 204.11, so getting quick still. You can see that on the screen now. So extending his advantage at the front of the field in the area where it's called South, with no radio communication and I like drinking water in the car.
Slow them down at
Edge of maybe the lack of distraction has helped.
It's the drink bigger.
That's the bigger concern, isn't it, today?
They haven't got to make any more pit stops, so that's not too much to worry. And as long as he hasn't got to report a problem back to the team that needs sorted.
Doesn't seem to be the case at the moment, is it, with those lap times that he's put in, but still 50 minutes of the race to go. There's Marston and Evans, third on the road. 27. M3.
98 in the pits. Have been in the pits. The Rory Baptiste and Tim Hartman car. they look now with Class C.
Yeah, the behind end was already repeating there. So I think that must have been their second mandatory stop. Now I'm not quite sure where we've got to. We've stopped in Class C actually.
It's a bit harder to keep track of.
I noticed that Osborne and Zono have dropped back on page 1 of the timing screen now. It's the 21st position. That's centimetres.
I think the best looks like he wants to get this place back. He drops to the inside. That's blocked. This is about 10th in battle with Sean Traynor yesterday in the MR2 Championship.
That's right. Very hard fought, very entertaining.
I wonder if anyone went to pick up Ben Rushworth who was stuck out there for 2 hours.
Yeah, he would. I think he would better get back into the.
It's quite a long walk, but when we know where to go, Mike, because it's not a place where a driver would end up usually.
No, unusual to head off. There, as you can see, his car starts. I don't know if he's there's the sort of in the road there, on the so maybe follow that back to wherever it leads.
Yeah, go heads back to Agostina and go around the back, and then it's quite a walk. Yeah. In time to explain what happened to the team.
Yep. So there's Marston, 11s, 37. That Motion Motorsport logoed car.
66 has been in as well, another Class C car. The Hayes and Sabiani team have had a successful season.
Yeah, and they're behind Baptiste and Thailand. That stop though, there was only 5:53, which is sort of right at the bounds of feasibility, I think, for a 3-minute mandatory stop. We've got that done. Gone, nevertheless.
This lap, the M3 away. Marston and Evans from Daniel Sylvester's, Ryan Parkins up to TT. They head down here in Murray. Chris Freeman amongst them, who, if anything's losing out now to the Porsche game, and I wonder if this is a bit of fatigue. The solo driver, 8 seconds behind the Porsche game now. Tyres go through Richie, don't they? I think go through there.
That's right. This is where themselves to go in this race. Getting down to the length of yesterday's road spots pretty much. Marston and Evans coming through. And that 37 car then in 3rd place. So getting away from the Audi now. Just lapped Chris Freeman as well, and heading towards the tail of the Steve Hewson Porsche.
The Holden's in after that mechanical flag. That's a similar sort of damage to what Andy Schultz had with tank tape in the front left corner.
Yeah. Something's been called in by a marshal who'd been concerned that it's bodywork.
And the Sirocco's gone through to take the Clubman's Cup lead. John Maudsley and Stuart Mead lead the Clubman's Cup now. So can the Holden, as it goes back out, catch what is a Class B car? Well, the Holden's only been a few tenths quicker during this race. That might be difficult. See what kind of gap there is. And as it goes out,
it's non-stop.
Whole lap behind, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a 7-minute stop, so it's cost them nearly 5 minutes. That the 87 car is in there as well. That's the Clio. So Mason and Chris Byallen, 0.6 litre car. Where's that running? He's in 25th position at the moment.
That's a 4th generation Clio, 1600cc turbo engine. Simon Mason's a 1-year-old driving instructor from Manchester. He's been racing since 1989, but had 4 years out. He's a 3-time Silverstone 24-hour class winner, though, so likes endurance racing. So hopefully he's enjoying this. I think it's his first outing in ClubEnduro. I've got 2 class leaders together there for a moment as the Hewson Porsche was lapping the Crown Paints 328 BMW.
That's right. It's the Honda coming down towards us at Brumble.
That's very noisy when it comes past here. The Ricky Cumber car.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Matthew Hampton's in the pits, is he? Because that car's dropping down the timing
Yes.
sheets, and the Ryan Harkin TT.
Yes, both of those actually. Yep, they're both in there. So those cars that were second and fifth, I think, weren't they?
It's only in that.
In the top five, anyway. So those we thought it got to make extra, well, not extra stops, but they're further stops.
TT's having new tyres, that's all. The TT a front-wheel drive car? I think.
It must be, yeah.
Sticker tyres, so how quick can that go? With some new tyres on. But it's going to obviously be a long way down the order, so Andy Marston and Brett Evans now second, 4 seconds clear of Will Beach and Mark Price. That'll be the first battle for the podium. Colin Gillespie and Phil Driver from the pit lane, 4th. And he's going to come through in 5th. Could be Phil Nib and Andrew Rath. It is. Not sure if they made their second stop or not.
I have a feeling they did. I'm sure. I think they may well have done, but had to be proved wrong on that.
But you've got to make your second stop within the next half an hour if you haven't.
Yeah, 15 minutes is the cut-off time for that. So the 117 car's been in again, but Gadsby and Jones are probably using this as an extended testing session now, aren't they, after those early dramas, running in 33rd place and 10 laps behind the leaders.
Yeah, because they're quite long pit stops they're doing as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's been an impressive show, because that car's fastest lap is still right up there, isn't it?
At 2:06.57. There's only 2-3 times faster than that I can see on screen, I think. 4, maybe 4 then. Faster than that.
But very few for the type of car it is.
That's right. Very impressive piece of equipment.
61 laps done by Rob Baker and Cole Swift now. Watching that Ricky Cumber Civic making its way through. Car he shares with Mark Simmons. I think it's RKC, the team behind that car. Which I think it raced in Dubai, that 24-hour race.
There we see the view in the pit lane. 11 car in the Dan Sylvester and Ryan Parkin Audi.
Falling down the order a long way, huh?
Yeah, certainly are.
I think Andy Schultz has gone back out 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
5.5 minutes the lap, the in lap and the pit stop.
So pretty efficiently done. I would suggest.
That splitter on the Holden hitting the ground again, so perhaps they haven't done the repairs as effectively as they might have done. It was rattling past here. We watch Andy Marston and Brett Evans. They've been re-caught by the RS3. The gap was 4 seconds, it's come down to 2.
Well, last time it was 1.8 seconds that the Beach and Grice car, number 27, made up. Over the line they've gone, and that time through another 10th they've made up. Black and orange flags at 46 again. That's the Holden one spot. Oh, and that's a breakage on the 121 car. The left rear suspension or steering or something has collapsed there.
Similar to what happened to the Boston Lotus, and that was right up there in Class C, I think.
Yeah, it was third. In fact, there was second, weren't they? Yeah, it was second when that's failed. Behind Joel Oswick and Dan Osano. So that's going to bring the Roy Baptiste and Tim Hartland car in.
See why the Holden's being for all seats. See the splitter flapping about and rattling the good tarmac.
Yeah.
The Tap-Tape's not doing its job.
I think that was the issue they had in qualifying as well, wasn't it? From what I understand.
Right.
With the car failing the right-height checks.
They're going to fall out of contention in this Clubman Cup race.
So that yeah, because it is Maudsley and Mead that are now ahead in that class, isn't it?
Yeah. Not sure. So that's where Oswald and Orsano, I think, are going to score good points, not just in Class C, but in the Clubman's Cup 2 for the older cars. But they're in the pits, the Class C leaders just coming out the pit lane. So I think all the Class C cars probably did have to make another pit stop.
Seems like one too many to me, but I might be wrong on that. But we'll see how things put up. That's the Russell and McKean car. And that stopped just at the pit lane entrance, hasn't it, as well? It's not blocking the pit lane entrance, but officials probably won't want to leave that car there.
Yeah, with a broken rear of the car. Still in the pit lane, it's Darkside TT.
Yeah, it's been in there far too long, hasn't it? It's 17th on the screens now. 4 laps behind the leader, Carl Swift and Rob Baker. So, clearly some issues that the Darkside squad have had. The Holden's in again, by the way, to get that splitter sorted if they can. It's either going to need a lot more tank tape or some another approach from taking completely. That's the one car just going through shot, the race leader Swift and Baker. That's the 66th car. Now this is a car that could move into a Class C podium position on some of the other issues that we've had. There's the Darkside Developments car going back against the race gate. How long was that stop? Was 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So that's probably 3 minutes more than it should have been. So that's cost them a lap a bit.
Rob Baker just done a lap 100th of a second slower than his previous best. So that car is still going very quickly. And for second, the gap is down to 7/10 of a second. So the BMW has been re-caught by the Audi RS3. Randy Marston and Brett Evans back under threat again. They gained that position 15 minutes ago, perhaps.
Yeah, something like that.
Here they are, just left with the Class B leader, Steve Hewson. And the battle will be resumed.
Yep. The Audi goes past the Class B car to put another lap on it. It's working at 62nd lap for these cars. Working their 63rd, it's actually the first time it's been lapped by that particular car.
And 6 seconds pretty much still is that back gap for Steve Hewson.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's say it, we just got to go through pump, running very wide. I think he's stayed on the track. And the Wallace car, that was.
That's right. Steve Hewson, Matt Fazy, watch out there. Steve Hewson's car. Matt Fazy going on. Dave Russell's still in his car, and it's the car's clear. But we do now have the safety car boards. Safety car is out, and that will be, I'm sure, to allow the recovery of that car. Well, that's rather prone position on the pit lane entrance. Now, the perfect opportunity for anyone that's not yet made their stop to do so with just over half an hour left to go. Third safety car of the race, but I'm not sure that there's that many cars that still need to make a stop, is there, Josh?
No. Swift and Rob Baker's lead is going to come down significantly.
Yeah, it will do.
But there's going to be a lot of traffic between them. I don't think the others got the pace to take the fight, have they?
No, but I guess it makes it interesting if Swift and Baker do find that they have problems in the closing stages of the race.
What it will do is make the Class B battle gap come down a little more. We'll think about these gaps, but while we do that, go back downstairs into the pit lane.
Well, with this safety car, I think we're just getting time for a quick chat with number 11, Ryan Parkin. Ryan, we were chatting earlier on. It was actually a safety car ago we were supposed to have a chat, but better late than never.
Yeah, definitely. Like us, we're late.
Well, how's your race going?
It looks like we're doing all right at a minute, but we've just had to do a second stop under green, then there's a safety car. But we seem to be using a bit more fuel than we expected, and just as it got to 1 litre on the dash, we spoke to him and he said 1 litre, then the radio comms went, and next thing he rings pits and said it's spluttering, so we've got a problem.
So with less than an hour to go then, what's sort of the aim, what's the target for the rest of the race?
I think if we do top 10 we've done good, but the car's just not right. It don't want to turn in, it don't want to exit the corners. We're not quite there yet. We've got the pace on the straight. The TCRs are sort of, I'd say we're a bit quicker than the TCRs because we've got a bit more power, but the corner just can't, for some reason we can't get the car to turn.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on you, Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for the chat.
Cheers for that.
And with that, back to you in the commentary box.
thanks, Kieran McGinney down there in the pit lane. Just catching up with Ryan Parkin. That's the car that needs to be recovered. I'm just waiting for a gap to be created to allow the recovery crew to get there, because it is going to take a full lift, isn't it? Now the other thing, I suppose, is that while they're recovering it, the pit lane will be effectively closed to new entrants, because the recovery vehicle would be clearly blocking the pit lane entrance. So I imagine the pit lane will be closed. How did it change on our screen? GD McBride has gone ahead of the next car through Houston phase here.
It's a Gillespie driver car that's not come through.
Yes, that's right. Yes, you're quite right. It's the Gillespie car that's not come through. It's in the pits. That's why. Yeah.
Didn't realise they hadn't made their second stop. Well, I guess it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's right. Pit lane closed, and that's not because we've reached the end of the pit lane window, but the pit lane is being closed while the recovery work is being done. So if you're in there, that's fine. You can go back out again, but no one else able to go into the pit lane just at the moment while this recovery work is being done of the car that's right at the pit lane entrance, the breakage.
The safety car has picked up the leader, by the way. That's a good job by race control. That's not easy when there's 40 or so cars out there. And I noticed 2 Class B leaders are nose to tail on the track. So that is going to be a sprint to the flag, I suspect.
It will be. We'll get probably just under half an hour of racing. See, there's 40 cars in fact, we're probably less than that now, aren't we? Because there's quite a few that have fallen by the wayside along the way, so we're probably into mid-30s at most, I would suggest. Cars still circulating.
I don't think we did see the Rob Watson racing car get back out. So in fact, they just fixed it enough to get it on the
trailer,
yeah,
or into the truck or whatever. So there's the recovery work being done. It's going to take a full lift, I think, by the recovery crew. Holden Commodore's going back out again with some more and stronger tape. And that goes back out into the race. So hopefully that splitter will remain intact.
Now they've got to 23rd race.
Yeah, Class C now. That's still Joel Oswick and Dan Osano.
The Club and Cup car leaders in the pits are Maudley and Mead.
And that's going to be stuck behind the red light here because the safety car train's coming through, so it's going to lose lap here.
Well, they think they're still leading.
It's Michael Downey's not a Club and Cup car, is it?
It might be. Yes, he is.
Yeah, so Michael Downey is the driver that might benefit there. The 76 Porsche Boxster. Take the Club and Cup honours.
Well, I think it might be a real battle down the same lap.
Yeah, could well be.
Yeah, here comes Michael Downey near the back of the queue. Second and third in the race are going to be nose to tail in a lot of traffic. Just actually the Class B leaders behind. You've got the BMW and the RS3 together. So there's some real battles to be had. You know, so all those cars that are involved in battles are going to the other wheel tool and not to the BMW.
It has.
That's the whole risk spent on that. But yeah, those battles in class for second overall over Class B are going to be in all the traffic. So that first 2 or 3 laps are going to be pretty hectic. But yeah, Michael Downey is ahead of the Sirocco. The Sirocco has proved to be quicker this race and are on the same lap. So we've got back to the Club and Cup lead as well. And Class C leaders, I don't think they're on the same lap, are they? Safety car still out, so let's head back down to the pit lane.
Yes, down here in the pit lane, I'm here at the number 15 garage with Phil Driver, who's just come out of the car. Phil, good stint for you today?
It was. I think we came out the garage 13th and we were 4th when we came in. So I don't know who's fallen out and who we've overtaken, but yeah, it has to be a good stint. We started from the very back of the grid, so to be that far up is obviously very satisfying.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of work goes into this. I mean, what's the target for the end of the race going into sort of the final few minutes?
Hey, we started from the very back, so we thought top 10, and then Colin had a mega first stint, got us into 8 or 9. So once you get that far up, you hope some of the BMs and Lotuses following themselves, and then you're always hoping for a podium after that. I'd hate a fourth. Fourth's always the worst position, but yeah, third would be fantastic.
Podium chasing. Good target, that.
I think we are, yeah. I think I'll have to check and see how that runs out. Pit stops, and that's us taking our last stop now, so we're good to go to the end. No more driver changes, so up to Colin to bring it home.
Up to Colin to bring it home. Let's see if he can. Phil, thank you so much for the chat. And with that, it's back to the commentary box.
Yeah, I hate to puncture Phil Driver's hopes there, but they're now 8th on the timing screen. About a minute over safety car out there behind Houston and Faison and Freeman, although they're Class B cars, so let's take them out of the equation. So they're 6th in Class A at the moment, so it may not take too much. He might end up in that 4th position. It's really a fan of, but we'll see how all of that pans out.
Do you know when Bride takes this?
I'm not completely sure on that. I think he may have done, but not completely certain.
He has.
He's doing really well.
He had some decent lap time. He's been in the 7s this race.
Yeah,
it's great to see.
Safety car lights are out, as you can see there. As we shortly should go green flag racing again. So the BMW is
Why
cleared.
is nobody behind from Can't catch up now for some reason. They're not actually going quickly.
No, he's not. But anyway.
But he's now got a good chance to go even faster, but with no traffic for a few laps.
That's right, so he's going to have a clear circuit ahead of him
But
now.
what we want to do is look towards the back of the queue, because that's where the back of the second is and the back of the Class B are going to be working their way through the traffic, and that'd be really spectacular to watch, I think. So if we can, have a look back at that BMW and Audi battle.
27 minutes of the race left to go.
They will come through in big clump, so it's going to be very busy. Here we can see the Class B battle, and then just in front of the Porsche Cayman is the battle of the second in the race, which is almost overlapping, just lapping the Club and Cuthbert leader, and they go through. So Andy Marston turns through. Okay, somebody's gone off at Ritchie's, haven't they?
That's the Ginetta. That's gone around of Webster and Tidmarsh. Number 8 car, the Ryan Tangerine car. Get back out into the race again.
So I thought that restart might be interesting, and it turned out to be the case. So the field coming through. I think Andy Marston and Brett Evans held on to second, but look at the traffic they've got to deal with. This is extraordinary down towards Agostini. Yeah, it's still the M3 ahead, and just behind it's the Class B battle. They're 3 abreast in front. Where can Andy Marston go to gain positions?
Yeah, and that's the Phil Nib car just ahead to the lap down, isn't it?
Steve is overtaking these Class A cars, or trying to in his Cayman, but then realised he hasn't got the power. Because he's trying to get away from Chris Freeman, because he's battling for a class win.
Yeah, Freeman only just behind him. So they're turning their way through Hamilton now, and Oggy's the right-hander towards Williams to bring himself onto the Bedford Road with 26 minutes of this race left to go.
Here comes the RS3 down the inside into Williams. There's not really room for that, so he had to back out of it.
Almost brings Steve Hewson back into it as well, who's a lap behind, but in the Class B car.
Well, that's held him up, so that's the goal. Chris Freeman's got the run down towards the S's here. So can the Gulf, well, cameraman trying to kick the cars out. Let's see if we can work out how that all was paid off. In the background, it's still the Porsche Cayman ahead in Class B.
It is for the moment, yes, ahead of Chris Freeman, just behind those 2 cars disputing second place on the road as well. And as they're sort of getting slower cars between them now, as well as they come up towards the end of this lap. And it's the 27 car of Beach and Price. There's the 13 car of Houston and Faison, and 14 right behind is Chris Freeman in the Gulf. This is the battle for the Class B victory with 25 minutes, so about 12 laps to go, something like that.
Through they come, up towards Ritchie's. The Porsche Cayman's got a good straight line, so it's able to fend off the Gulf. Wasn't such a good restart for the RS3. Will Beach Mark Rice lost about a second and a half. Andy Marston and Brett Evans, who dealt with the traffic the best.
and they lost 7 seconds or 9 seconds to the basic Carl Swift and Rob Baker, who's Rob Baker out there at the moment, and that's because he had a completely clear track ahead of him at the restart.
There's 1.5 seconds in the Clubman Cup, Michael Downey to the Maudsley and Mead Sirocco, so that's also on, very much so.
Yep, so that's a good little scrap as well. And there is a big gap between the Class C, because that's a lap and a half, a lap and a bit between Osborne Sano in Class C, Mead and Baptiste Park in the second class.
And Mead as well, lap 16. Oh, and the Porsche goes, had a huge slide, and off the road goes Steve Hewson's Porsche, and Christopher Freeman goes through into the lead of Class B. The Area Motorsport Golf men ahead. That was a mistake from Steve Hewson on that phase. Whoever's in the car now at Hamilton, the car got very sideways, went across the grass. Didn't lose huge amounts of time considering the moment, but has lost that position importantly. Lost the lead of Class B, and Chris Freeman takes the lead for now.
Yeah, an error there under pressure. He's not lost too much time, and you've got the second, so there is still a chance for him to come back at Chris Freeman. Freeman now in control. He'll try and get his head down and pull out a bit of a gap. Third place car in that class is Luke Hamby, but I think he's now a long way adrift. And that's big, so can't really get to the equation, I don't think. So there's Freeman, Class B leader up on 3 wheels through the list. Some black smoke pouring from the back of the Porsche briefly as well.
Just the turbo.
Yeah, I think so.
First time on the Golf got ahead in the race, I think. Or certainly since very early in the race. It's not over yet.
Certainly not. The gap between them at the beginning of the lap was just over a second, 1.08 seconds. Two Class B leaders. Leader first and second overall is now 28.74 seconds between Rob Baker and the other Martin Brett Evans BMW, which is on screen now.
1.7 seconds gap in the car between Michael Downey and Maudsley and Mead.
They're both in Class B cars as well, aren't they? But that's for old machinery across all the other classes.
There's Andy Marston, still second. Then that gap back to the RS3 Audi.
2.5 seconds now, isn't it? Between the two of them.
That's still made on that first lap. The restart.
That's right.
Audi R3 is spectacular.
Chris Freeman on the previous lap was actually catching Phil Andrew Rapp as well, wasn't he? But overall, fifth position as well. Well, that made just a slow lap for the 11 lap Seat. And is that a new fastest lap race? It is a new fastest lap race for Rob Baker. A 2:03.65 he is now done. After 239 minutes of racing, new fastest lap race for Rob Baker. Fantastic effort. The issue with his drinks 70 in the car as well. That's not making life any easier for him.
No, and it's only 6 tenths off that Chris Gordon and lap record now. Andy Shawley's got himself into the top 10. He's in the 204s as well. So he's going quicker than he went earlier. That's obviously quite quick at the moment. He's got the cars low on fuel, so a little bit lighter. Some cars have had tyre changes, some haven't.
That's right. So there's the 27th car in the wrestling pool. It's just over a lap ahead of the field of Andrew Rapp car, which is just behind the road.
8 tenths per second in it in the Club Cup. This is 63, Maudsley and Mead, Captain 76. Michael Downing for the Club Cup, doing the same for the older cars. Less than a second in it now.
Quick rundown with 20 minutes to go. Leader number 1, Carl Swift and Rob Baker, 37 Andrew Martin Brett Evans in second. 27 Paul Beach and Mark Rice in third, 67 by 4, 92 Will have landed about 5th, 6th and leading Class B, number 14 Chris Freeman, 7th and 13 Steve Houston, Matt Basie, 2nd in Class B, 8th and 15 Colin Gillespie, Phil Driver, 9th and 69 Matthew Hampton and Schultz, and 10th and Warwick Campbell. He's also 3rd in Class B. In Class C, Joel Ellsworth and Dan Olsano leading car 53. 2nd, 98 is Warwick Baptiste and Tim Hartland. 3rd, Johnny Hayes and Paul Silviani now, number 66 now.
20 minutes to go, they're second. Half a minute behind the leader, Andy Martin and Brett Evans. Leaders across the line. And then number 3 way through. No, that car started way back on the grid. Side top 20. Rolled in the wet.
So good performance. The Schultz goal has just gone through, hasn't it?
That's very cool. 7-5.
Personal best lap of the race.
Way behind the next three. I don't think we're going to gain any more position tonight overall.
Yeah, but it is getting away from the Panther, because all the Panther will be the case.
Class B lead change across the line. Steve Houston's Porsche came back ahead of Chris Freeman by the looks of it. And he's just lapped on a pattern car. The number of goal. Yeah.
Houston and Fazy back ahead. Oh, sorry, yes, I was watching that on the timing tab. Beg your pardon.
But there they are on the screen as well now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened to Packer, but they've lapped him. And while they were lapping him, his teammate lost the lead. That's not good for an area motorsport.
It's not, has it? Again, still time to turn this around again. 17 and 40 minutes in the race. Laps to go.
3 tenths in the Club Cup lead. Michael Downing completely caught now by the Sirocco. Then Class B lead. I think there's something wrong with Jonathan Packer's goal. He's moving around. How slow was his last lap? 2 minutes 13. Not too bad.
No, about 3 seconds off his best.
This is where it went all wrong for the Intelligent Money Porsche. Again, it's a bit wide over the curve. Chris Freeman looking right underneath the rear wing. He's got a tighter line. It's back up the inside into Williams. They changed positions less than a lap ago, and they're changing again here. You said they time to go. Well, it didn't take long.
No, well, and who would rule out another change of position before the end?
Before the next corner.
I was going to say, before the next corner, let alone the end of the race. Because it looks like Houston and Fazy's Porsche is getting back alongside on the rundown. Yep, back in front.
Wow.
And yellow flags there, we can see Brundle and Nelson as well. I can't see why that is at the moment. I think maybe just for the yellow flags. See why we have those flags at the moment.
See you're here, the car off. That might be. That's off. Live cameras will pick that up.
That's just at Nelson, isn't it?
Julian McBride's up the fourth. Well, he was ahead of coming through. Julian McBride at the pitch. Phil Nibb and Andrew Rapp is back ahead of him.
There's a Honda in
Is it McBride and Dobson?
Could be, couldn't it?
Exactly.
It's just about possible looking at the can't pick that up, but
yeah, right.
it must be, yeah.
Barriers. That probably actually not cameraman.
Yeah, it's
Damn car, the driver. But certainly Phil Nibb and Andrew Rapp up the fourth now, which means Steve Houston and Matt Basie possibly lead as a fifth. Chris Freeman sixth. And Colin Gillespie and Phil Driver a seventh. That's a shame for Julian McBride. It's never the case this.
There's 15 minutes to go. We've got a pace change for these two runners. Those are the Class B leaders, Steve Houston and Matt Basie and Chris Freeman.
Something's happened to the Saxon Motorsports of Morocco. John Maudsley and Stuart Beattie to turn 2 minutes 21. So the Club Cup lead gap has gone back out again.
Michael Downey then, 76 is the leader of the Cup at the moment. Joe Vordy's by now 38 seconds clear. Lots of
Dustin Clark leaders off, completely off this time across the grass. So Steve Houston and Matt Basie, who had just extended their lead a little bit, has gone off again, and that's 2 mistakes. And so the Dolph is back ahead. Chris Freeman, the driver who's been in the car for the whole way. Another car going off everywhere here. I think Janetta's got damage.
It's the front body work that's gone this time. It was the rear body work
And
yesterday.
it's Michael Downey's involved.
Oh,
the
it is.
Cup leader.
And we saw the Scirocco going through shot there, didn't we, to retake the Club and Cup lead. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Presumably there's been some contact between the Janetta and the Porsche of Michael Downey. Both of those cars are right on the edge of the circuit as well, Josh, up there at Hamilton.
Dramatic, isn't it? Is that damage to the splitter of the Cayman after that off?
It looks like it, doesn't it? Not serious damage there, I think, but it'll be enough to accept the handle of the car. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen with those cars off at Hamilton. I think the Janetta and the Porsche still there on the edge of the circuit, aren't they? A chair falls to pieces underneath me. So 13 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. There is Michael Downey out of his number 76 car that was leading the Cup and Cup.
Rather in the last, well, since the restart really.
Plenty of it. He's walking away.
Surely we're going to have another interruption.
And now the number 8 car being vacated by the drive. That's the car being shared by Matthew T. Marsh and Chris Webster.
They lost the rear of the car yesterday and they lost the front of it today.
Yeah, exactly. The middle was intact all weekend. You can see that the safety cars poised, ready to go out. Boards are being prepared as well, so it's only going to go one way. And there's only 13 minutes of this race left to go now, Josh, as well. Safety car flagged out.
Yeah, the leader's coming up to Murray 7 away.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the safety car's going to go out to pick up the race leader, Carlson from Rob Baker. How many cars, I wonder, were there between Rob Baker and Andy Marston then? Quite a few, I imagine.
Yeah, the thing is, Marston, best lap is 3 seconds slower.
That is true. And also, you have to